Good evening. It's 6:30. We'll get started by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a brief introduction, the Zoning Board of Appeals is a 7-member quasi-judicial body appointed by the Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees per the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Matters pending before the Zoning Board of Appeals are decided on a case-by-case basis. Any appeal of a decision made by the Zoning Board of Appeals is subject to circuit court review. Each case will be called separately in the order shown on tonight's agenda. There will be an opportunity for public comment at one point during each case. All persons wishing to comment will be asked to provide their name and address at the podium. Address your comments to the board and not the applicant or other members of the public. Given the numbers of appeals tonight, please make your comments brief. Comments by the Neighborhood Association will be considered as part of the factual information presented to the board, but those comments are not the determining factor for approval or denial. Please confine comments to the specific request before the board. For a request to be successful, an affirmative vote of at least 4 members present is required. We hope this provides a better understanding of what you can expect at tonight's meeting. I'd like to say that item 3 has been postponed. That's 4955 Stoneley. That will not be heard this evening, so if you're here for that, that's been postponed. I'd also like to acknowledge that we have a group of students from Bloomfield Hills High School here who have very courageously decided to sit in the front row. So anything you say or do here this evening will certainly have an impact on them. I hope they find this meeting educational and that we meet their expectations. So with that, let's take attendance.
So noted.
And then I'd like a motion to approve or amend the minutes from December 9th, 2025.
So moved. Support.
So I have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. So we'll call the first item, item 1P6470 Gulfview Drive. Is the applicant ready?
Good evening, Board. My name's Dan McLeish from McLeish Building, representing the owner at 6470 Gulfview Drive for the items in front of you this evening. And we have several on there, so I'll kind of keep a brief overall on those. When we first designed the house, originally the house was going to, the garage was going to face the Gulfview side of the site, and further looking at it, the owner, we looked at switching the site to, actually, can we pull up the site? There's a colored landscape plan, that might be easier for the board. Okay, there was a color, okay, that's fine. So, so the right side of the house here, okay, which is faces Gulfview. Oh, no, I can see it.
We can.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you can't? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Just letting you know.
Oh, okay, I thought you could, sorry, I thought it'd be loose there. So we rotated the garage to be on the west side of the property now, and therefore it triggered a couple items. The first item was the retaining wall on the west side of the property. Were presented before, retaining wall so that sake of ease getting into the garage through that. And then we can also create a level area to where we can screen both properties. The other one that is in front of you is the rear yard retaining wall for a pool. Typical pool in Michigan is around 20 feet. We shrunk this to about 12 feet. And we have a 6-foot easement in the backyard as well. So that kind of plays into it. There's also a drainage issue with the Oakland Hills golf course. We've consulted with them a few times on it. And so this is what we kind of basically developed with the golf course, you know, proposing a retaining wall to help out with some of the drainage issues that they have as well through there. The other large one would be on the right side of the house. There's a 5 ground-mounted units, 3 ACs, generator, and potential pool equipment. And we show those as well on that side because all the gas and electrical comes from the east side of the home. We show it with a screen fence, with a hard surface fence, and then we also are showing it with evergreen screening as well through there. Do you have any of the 3D color pictures?
Everything I played is what we got.
Oh. I have a drive.
Yeah. Let's do the drive. Do you know what he's talking about?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Geez, I don't, sorry. Well, my gals in the office did it, so. Well, I guess actually there, that was the fence we were proposing right there, but then in the 3D color drawings, it shows it all in color, a little bit more detail. If you go to the next one. Yeah, right there. So that's the east side of the house, the golf view side. So that greenery, that's up near the home, that's where we proposed the ground mounted units for there. And then also, we had proposed the stone columns and wing walls at the entranceway, along with the wing walls in this picture as well. Wing walls up by the home, that helps kind of screen the motor court as well through there. That's the rear yard view, the proposed retaining wall, that would be if we're standing on the golf course looking back at the home as well. And then if you go to one more there, next one. To the right of that view right there, we show an extension of the home with a barbecue grilling area as well. I think there should be one more, we can see the hot tub. Keep going. Right, well, okay, right there. So one of the other variance requests is for a above-ground hot tub on the west side between the two neighbors. We picked that area just because it was kind of out of sight, out of mind from the golf course and for all the other neighbors as well. Consulted with the HOA. I've heard from one of the neighbors via letter, reached out to him via text to meet him. He was unavailable to meet. I would have thought about meeting him prior, but he was so far, he's 300-400 feet away from the home, or else I would have actually reached out to him earlier, besides yesterday, because Andrew had passed on his letter from last week to me, so, as well. HOA, I didn't really get anything back from them. I did consult with them, but they told me that they, well, if they're here, I'll let them speak whatever they would like to. So it's a matter of time. I mean, I could go into further detail, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Do we have any questions from the board? Okay. I'd like to open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item? You can step forward and just give us your name and address.
Hi, everybody. Greg Turcott. I live at 6455 Gulfview Drive, so I am slightly north and east of the property, probably the closest house besides Dave Colucci, who lives to the west. And I guess my only comment is I don't approve of the variance request. The bypassing the setbacks just don't seem to make sense. The house is bigger than the property could afford, so that's all I wanted to share tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? Okay.
Good evening. I'm Dave Robinson. I'm the president of the Oakland Hills Country Club Subdivision Association. And so I'm representing the association. And on behalf of the association, we are opposed based upon the fact that the 6 required exceeds the township required setbacks. That's all. Any questions?
So your objection is you shouldn't grant any of the variances for setbacks?
Just the variances, the 6 ones that we were provided by the builder exceed the township zoning requirements.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item? All right, so I'll close public hearing and then let the applicant respond.
Well, the one comment about this home is too large for the site, don't know exact percentage, but the allowable buildable area, we probably could have built 25 to 30% more, larger of a home as well. And the way we oriented and why we had to come before the board is the view you're looking at the bottom of the screen, the Gulf View side. We rotated the house so that as neighbors drove down Gulf View, the first thing you didn't see was all garage doors. The previous house was like that. They had a large driveway that came down along there. So the owner we're building for was okay flopping the house. We probably incurred an extra 70–80% in paving costs to wrap a driveway from Gulf View all the way over to the other side. If the board grants us retaining walls on the west side, we'll have that expense. We'll have the expense of screening the entire yard, okay, which the only area that is not screened is right there in the Gulf View where the driveway enters, and then obviously on the Gulf View or the golf course side for visual reasons, so they could see the view. That way, we thought about this very thoroughly. The side of the house you're looking on Gulf View, that's where the furnaces are in the home as well, and so it makes sense to put the ACs there because for efficiency purposes, for the house to cool during the summer months, that's the most efficient way. The power comes off the utility pole at the bottom left side of the screen as well, so that's the shortest run for it. Gas is along, the natural gas is along that side of the road as well for, hooking to a generator as well. 1 second, please. And, the other item, if we would have had the house rotated back to the Gulf View side as well, and take in consideration this is a corner lot too, so it has its challenges. But I think that, it was well thought through between all the architects and the owner and everybody involved for this, and we would, appreciate granting the variances tonight.
Any questions from the board?
As for the spa, the hot tub that you have, is there a special reason why you put it where it's going to be located, or?
Yes, because we feared it was probably it took up the least amount of lawn space. It was kind of a, I don't want to say wasted area of the yard, but it just kind of tucked itself tightly up into that corner of the yard. We're 100% screened to the neighbor to the west. You can't see it from Maple Road. The home blocks it from the east view. And then the only other view that anybody could really see it, if you're a member of the golf course and you're walking on the golf course, you might see it there. So that was the reason why we just thought that was, the tightest spot to put that.
Can we make any other public comments on that or no?
No, once the public hearing is closed, there aren't any more comments permitted.
Okay. So look at the plot plan of the neighborhood, though, there's a house right there. Right next to it.
Because that's one of the areas where you're encroaching, I think it was 10 feet into the 16-foot setback, if I see this correctly.
Yeah, the hot tub.
Have you communicated with a neighbor to the west? And have you gotten blessing from them on this?
Yes, yes, we did meet with them, or dropped them off the drawings, but we have not heard anything back from them.
When did you drop them off the drawing?
Week ago, I believe it was.
Obviously, they were noticed for this, but having them on board, that is a pretty big encroachment. So-
Yes, and we tried via email, getting his phone number. We went, we had to go knock on his door to get his contact info. And we reached out to the HOA last week to get phone numbers for all the board members, but for the owner, the trustee that handles the owner's trust, email had to go to him, and I don't even know if he still received all the numbers and contact info for all the HOA members as well, because we were trying to set something up to meet with them. And I originally would have set something up to meet with them, but when we originally started down this road, I believe it was last July or August, the gentleman that spoke, that was the answer I got from Gary Weinhardt, if I said it right, from the HOA, that the board doesn't want to meet about any of the HOA, or any of the variances. So just kindly, we reached out to them. I got a timeline several times to let them know that this has been tabled for multiple reasons. And just letting them know, I was very communicative with them. Just as of last, I believe it was Tuesday, I think they sent me a screenshot of a text about a couple of questions really about the fence in the backyard. And so then I reached out again to them, like, okay, now are you guys open for having an open dialogue now? And he said no, so, I don't know why they're asking me really about the fence questions then. I was hoping they were reaching out to, meet with us and walk through all these items as well. Just so if whatever concerns they had, we could address it ahead of this meeting.
What's the type of illumination that's on the piers?
Electric.
So what type of light is the light?
What size?
Yeah.
It might be 24 inches tall.
Okay.
Is it on top of?
Yeah, it's right,
the
yeah,
pillar,
in
or
that
is it-
picture right there to the left,
Oh, I see.
the light. Minimal light, just something just to accent the driveway, so you see it coming off the road as well, that way. And another comment was, brought the driveway versus off of Maple Road is because the owner had safety concerns pulling out on the Maple Road. So he's got young kids, and if he had a, sitter with the kids or something like that, so they liked having the driveway come out on the Gulfview versus on the Maple Road.
Any other questions from the board?
Is this still gonna be a Gulfview address?
Yes, sir.
I'm struggling with the hot tub and the
Yeah,
location
and so
of
I
that.
am too. So a lot of the variances are due to the fact he's got two frontages. So,
Correct.
yeah, so those are okay, but it just, that hot tub is a pretty significant encroachment. You haven't gotten contact, with the homeowner, so I don't feel comfortable with that, particularly because of how far it's encroaching and the use itself.
And it would've been a lot better if you would've told me that you had a letter from them saying that they were okay with it.
Absolutely,
But
we
we
knocked
don't.
on his door, we tried going those routes to, see what concerns he would have, and there was no comment about it. I didn't want to really push the guy. We asked for his cell number, he wouldn't give us a cell phone number. So it wasn't like,
Well,
we
we're
didn't
not-
try.
We're not
you know?
faulting you, we're just
Yeah.
explaining how we feel
Sure.
about that request.
Okay.
So,
If this is any to help, if we would table that request, I'm fine with that. The hot tub's not the end of the world. There's another spot in the backyard that we could put it.
so that's a great comment.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Let's follow
it's-
up on that. Could you put it somewhere else? 'Cause so if we voted on everything else,
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
we
could.
denied that, then you'd have
Yeah,
to
we
go
just-
somewhere else.
We just thought it was
I'm trying to help you here.
fine.
Is that good?
Yes, sir.
Because
We
you
got
could
a
always-
motion?
You could always come back when you have that neighbor's approval, and it'd be
Yeah.
a lot easier for us to
Yes.
allow you to be within 5 feet of their
But
property
you gotta be
line.
careful. So if you're gonna deny it, is
Okay,
it
if
without
that's me.
prejudice, so he can go back in the same spot? Or I like going to another location that
location.
he sort of,
Yeah, it's fine. We have another
Yeah,
location. We just
good.
thought,
Okay.
for everybody, neighborhood, whatever, we thought that that was the best place.
okay.
So there is a spot on the golf course side that we definitely can put it.
Fit within the, that would
Can't
impact.
We're not approving that. just so you know, he'd have to come back. I know you'll be back. I look forward to it. So I think we can have a motion. So the only point would be, I guess, if you did it without prejudice, he could come back in the same spot with his letter, or he could pick the other spot. Or you could say, I have two options.
Sure,
That might even be better.
whatever you think.
What do you think of that?
That's
Okay.
great.
So can we have a motion, do you think?
I guess you're looking for me, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion. How do I do all these? Let's go with the dimensional variances. Well, first, I would like to make a motion without prejudice that we deny the variance for the hot tub encroaching 10 feet into the required 16-foot westerly setback, based on the fact that again, no prejudice, that this was self-created at this time.
Okay, that's good.
Do I need to get a motion and we approve of that? Like, don't we, or no?
So that's a motion. Is there a second?
Support.
So a motion and support. All those in favor of the motion to deny the request for the variance for the hot tub and its encroachment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's denied without prejudice.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's have the next motion on the other items.
Perfect. So the permission request. In regards to the appeal at 6470 Gulfview for the accessory structures regarding I believe it's going to be the fence, the retaining wall.
Pool,
Pool.
2 feet.
And the ground mechanical.
Yeah, you have a 4-foot
High
pool
pool
fence.
fence, and then the 4 3-foot high retaining walls with 5-foot high illuminated piers located on Gulfview
Yep.
and Maple Road frontages,
Yep.
as well as the 5 mechanical units on Gulfview. I move that request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because the use of the accessory structures is appropriate to the neighborhood. If this motion is passed, all applications for necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. Additional evergreen screenings shall be required along as presented in your packet. So again, specifically for those ground mechanical greenage.
Yes.
I want that to be planted at time of installation up to the height of it. You know this, but
Yes.
putting it on record. And, yeah, installation of those type of plantings must be at or exceeding the height of the structures at time of installation for 12 months of the year.
Support.
I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those permission requests are granted, so now we have the dimensional variances.
Yes, so in regards to the appeal at 6470 Gulfview for the height and setback variances as submitted in our packet, I move the variances be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because it is a corner lot. So you have 2 front yard setbacks. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors based on the fact that we're going to be screening all of this and screening the entire area. Unique circumstances, a lot have been demonstrated because of the fact that it is a corner lot. So we have 2 front yard setbacks. This is not self-created because, again, it is a corner lot. And we've already tried to make accommodations to ensure that garages aren't there, and we have tried to screen from all of our neighbors. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. Additional evergreen screenings may be required, but based on the screening plan that's here, I'm happy. And again, as long as it is this current configuration, we're happy.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Those requests are granted. And I hope you got enough feedback here because that hot tub, and you heard kind of from some tangential comments that if it's in another spot, it may impact someone else. So it's important to get, the proper feedback and consider everybody that would be impacted by whatever location that you choose.
Sure. Yes,
Makes
sir.
sense?
Understood.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Calling item 2P, 2688 South Indian Mound. Is the applicant ready?
Hello, Board. My name is Jacob Mansour with Triac Landscaping. I'm representing my homeowners at 2688 South Indian Mound. We're seeking a permission request. We have a spa 14 by 14. It's 1 foot above grade. I have a 20 by 20 sport court with a little basketball hoop. And then an 11 by 7 foot, by 10 foot swing day bed structure with a water feature. Everything is within the rear yard setbacks. I don't violate anything there. The entire property line, both side property lines, the rear yard property lines are gonna be screened with 8 foot to 9 foot pyramidalis arborvitaes. Every inch of the property line is gonna be screened. They're gonna be touching when they're planted. No one's gonna be able to see in there. If you see some from our renderings, that's that little swing structure that we designed. It has a rain curtain water feature over there. And then you can also see a view of the spa. And it spills over and it's a little elevated above one of the grades, and then it's flush with another one of the grades. That's our top-down view of the spa, top-down view of the full design. Front of the house, back of the house. Some of the different elevations. And that's my request.
Do we have any questions from the board? Okay. I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item?
My name is Randolph Shine. I reside at 2709 Indian Mountain South. I've seen this proposal go from a quite large and intrusive proposal to one that is a little more modest in scope. I still have a couple of reservations. One is the wisdom of having an unfenced sports court. I'm also concerned about the noise from the sports court. I do like the addition of the water feature. I think that will help mask some of the noise that might otherwise be generated.
So is your request that the sports court actually have a fence around it?
I would,
Because
I
typically
would
people
like to
don't
see a
want
a
fencing
fence
around
around the sports court.
You mean like a netting or something? Are you worried about are you worried about balls bouncing around? or-
I'm not, because I live across the street and one over. I am not to the rear or to the side of the property. So I'd be unlikely to get a ball in my yard.
Okay, because typically we have people that actually object to the fencing around the sports court. Your position is the opposite.
No, I think a sports court should have a fence
Okay.
around it, although since I'm not in a directly abutting property, it's not that big of an issue for me.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and leave it up to the applicant.
Well, Brian, for the same reason you said, a lot of people don't like to see that net. And for this gentleman's concern, I don't see any balls going to the neighbor's lot with the pool fence and the 9-foot tall arborvitaes touching each other. If the homeowners want to put a net, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. I personally like the net, stops everything, but it's such a small sports court that it's really not needed. It's just a little basketball hoop,
Yeah,
20
it's
feet
a-
by 20 feet. It's much
It's a
smaller
half-
than the
it's a
traditional
half
30 by
court, yeah.
60. Yep,
It's not a full court.
correct.
Well, if there are no more questions, are there
Any other questions from the board?
I have a,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
have a couple if you don't mind. So I'm glad that the sports court is a manageable size. I can tell you that, that is a big win, and I appreciate the neighbor talking about how you guys kind of scaled this down based on either feedback from the neighborhood or what it may be.
Absolutely.
So the sports court, when I'm looking at the picture, is that the neighbor's property that we can see? So on the back side of it, I see cars, I see a retaining wall.
No, sir, that's our driveway.
That is this,
Property's driveway, yes,
Okay.
sir. Driveway to the garage.
so will the sports court be completely obstructed from neighbor view or public view?
Completely 100% obstructed. The entire property already, unlike the front side yards, already has arbs down both sides. Let's see if I get a shot.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, that's why I was a little confused on.
It's kind of hard to see, but on that side, there's arborvitaes. If he goes back one more slide, in that like far right corner where our garages are arborvitaes.
Okay.
And some big trees, and we're gonna continue the line, add more. He wants a lot of privacy and he wants it right away. So like I said, they're gonna be 8 to 9 feet tall and they're gonna be touching when we plant them.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ready for a motion?
I have a
can make a
motion. Oh, go ahead.
Dueling motion.
In regard to the appeal at 2688 South Indian Mountain Road for the accessory structures, I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood as it fits within the setbacks and is completely screened. If approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits made within 1 year for the accessory structures, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings shall be required if there's any openings in the screen plan at the time of construction. No illumination permitted on the sports court, and use of the sports court is limited to daytime hours.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you, board. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So calling item number 1684 Waddington Road.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Patyak. I'm the owner of the property and the general contractor that will be doing the work on this property. Our request is for a dimensional variance that pertains to the front porch of the home. To give you a little context, we purchased this home from, I believe they must have lived there for at least 60 years. The lady who was, I believe, 98 years old, was no longer able to live there, and the son, who was the trustee, was handling the trust and sold it to us, mainly because they wanted the home to, remain. They didn't want it to be bulldozed. So our intention always was to enhance the home, restore the home, and kind of keep the character of it, and keeping within the character of, Bloomfield Village. So that's our intention here. Due to the age of the home and the fact that there haven't been a lot of exterior improvements to it, the home is, I guess, rather one-dimensional, and the fact that the home is so old, it currently sits, you can see that masonry kind of gable on the front sits as non-conforming as is the existing front porch. So we're really unable to do any exterior improvements that would add to the architectural appeal of this home. So we feel that the addition of this front porch, which is like in a very colonial style, enhances the architectural and aesthetic appeal of the home, as did the Bloomfield Village Architectural Control Committee. They overwhelmingly approved this particular variance after review. So that's our request, and more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I think it's fairly straightforward. I'll open this to the public for comment. See if Kathy has some words of wisdom.
I'm not sure wisdom, but I have words. Kathy Weisenborn, representing Bloomfield Village Association. Our board did review this proposal. This is existing non-conforming home into the 40-foot setback. We are seeing a number of proposals like this to add covered front porches. It is a nice update to the look of the front of the home, consistent with the architecture of the home. We think it'll be a nice enhancement, and we do support we did approve this and support the variance.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for a motion or discussion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
The dimensional variance in regards to the appeal at 684 Waddington Road. I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty, because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because it would actually prevent the reasonable use of the property, as though, a porch would be a great addition, as well as it's a non-conforming structure as it is. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors. For one, they do have the support of their association. And also, I think this would be an enhancement to the property. Unique circumstances of the property is that it also is non-conforming, and because of that, it is not self-created. With that said, applications for all necessary permits must be made. If this motion is approved, all applications with permits must be made within 1 year for the accessory structure, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. I don't think I think that's it.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you very much.
So, item 2, 1123 East Glengarry Circle.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Scott Trineri. I'm the homeowner of the house you see here. And my wife, Laura, and I moved into the house last summer, or I guess 2024 summer, with the goal of maintaining what is one of the older homes in the village and keeping it in its original state as much as possible. However, we would like to bring some of the functionality into the 21st century. Namely, we don't have a mudroom at all. You walk immediately into the kitchen, which is so small that it can fit a table for a family of 4 in it. And then the garage is fairly narrow, so much so that Laura sometimes has to get into the passenger seat of her car in order to drive. So our plan was to bump the back of the garage out by 12 feet so that we avoid touching the front of the house or expanding the house sideways at all. And that would allow us to add a mudroom and get a small table into the kitchen while slightly increasing the square footage of the garage. That's it. I'll keep it short and see if I can answer your questions.
Any questions? I'll open this to the public for comment.
Thank you. This house is existing non-conforming to the setback on that right side. The house doesn't sit square to the parallel of the property line, so any extension of that garage is going to encroach further into the setback. This is a pretty modest proposal to bring this into the 21st century for functionality of the home. It is well-designed architecturally. It is appropriate for this house. So the board did approve this and support the variance of 4 feet on that right side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close public hearing and bring it back to the board.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So, is there any ordinance, or do we have any permitting specifically for a driveway being on the property line? If they do this, they'll have a 12-foot driveway, and that'll go to the property line now, right?
It already is.
It already does?
Yes.
And do we have flooding or issues associated with retaining water?
No, but the driveway's made out of dirt, so
Are we going to be changing that?
yes, as part of this project, that is the hope to bring the driveway, make it concrete.
Okay.
So my response to your question would be that the applicant would be required, because they are making a change, they would be required to get a driveway permit through the building division. And what that does is allows the building division to review it and make sure that your change of that driveway does not have any negative impact to your neighbors. So a
Okay.
permit would be required, so thank you for that question.
Perfect. And again, just want to make sure that we don't set you up for liability when water goes onto your neighbor's property, and then it also pitches in the right way. So that's where the permitting process will help.
Understood, thank you very
With
much.
that, I have no objection.
Very good.
Chairman, we want to make a motion.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
In regard to the appeal at 1123 Glengarry Circle East, for the requested variance, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all of the standards for practical difficulty, because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, given the fact that the home is currently non-compliant. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors, given the fact that we do have approval by the neighborhood association, and their appreciation for the fact that, we would entertain an opportunity to help these homeowners get their home into the 21st century. Unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated, given the fact that it is currently a non-compliant structure. and is not self-created since these issues came with the home at the time that it was purchased. If the motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year for the garage addition, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted. So calling item 4, 4911 Burnley. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for your participation. Evidently, there was a time commitment.
Oh, they came back.
We're all on our side, can we take a picture?
At 10 o'clock.
It would have helped if you'd asked before we started the meeting. So you have to, I thought you would need some visual evidence that you met the requirements here. Are we going to have a timestamp on that picture? Sure, you can take a picture.
I'm sure somebody has a phone.
Do you guys want to stand in front of the board here?
That's hilarious.
As a mom of 2 teenage boys, that surprises me.
So what class is this for? AP Gov, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Oh, they're just getting the kids. What about the board?
So, no, it's just that, we didn't,
They're doing their civic duty.
yeah. AP Gov,
There you go.
all right. I have much greater confidence in the future based on your participation. So. Yeah, that was a great exit. Well, they sat in the front. They obviously were worried about being seen, and they certainly weren't worried about exiting in front of everyone, so good for them. That's confidence. All right, item 4.
Hi, good evening. This is Catherine and Michael O'Gwin at 4911 Burnley Drive. And, board members, I'm requesting a variance for my shed located in the back west corner of my yard along the tree line. It sits 10 feet from the property line instead of 16, but over 16 feet from the rear lot line and all other lines. The shed is a standard-sized structure used for seasonal storage of lawn and garden equipment, bicycles, and outdoor items. Our yard has unique constraints, mature trees and patio, and established landscaping that make moving the shed 6 feet inward very difficult and would significantly reduce usable space. The shed's current location is unobtrusive, naturally screened, and consistent with how other sheds are positioned in the neighborhood. The variance represents the minimum relief necessary to allow reasonable use of our property while preserving the character of the neighborhood. We sincerely appreciate your consideration and hope you grant this request.
So are you refurbishing the shed? So when I was looking at the pictures to prepare, I was a bit confused because there were 2 different colors in the...
Sorry, yeah, no, it's that, we had to paint it in a certain amount of time in order to have it sealed. So we put it up and then so no, we're not refurbishing, we just.
So that's the current color, is the bottom right?
The current color is the bottom, is the top left.
Oh,
It's
top
like
left.
It's the same color as our siding and trim of our house.
So what's the bottom right then?
That was just a rendering of the kit that we constructed.
Gotcha, okay.
So is that a side view of the shed?
So,
on the-
so that's the view from, looking from the road into our back right-hand corner of our yard. And we own the side of the landscaping all the way in the back and all the way on the left. So it's completely you can't see it from any side of the property.
Can we go to the picture with the trees, So is that the screening you're proposing?
That was proposing, yep, the height of the shed.
But we can still see the shed.
They'll be touching. all the arborvitaes will be touching. And there's actually, I put the arborvitae picture in front of the actual bush line that is actually, it's like putting double
When you look from the
shading.
road, there's another bush that goes there.
Because the requirement's going to be, it's have to be screened from public use, so you're going to meet that requirement. That's-
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting technique to superimpose the.
Sorry, I'm not very good at this.
Well, no, we've not seen that before.
First
It's all-
rodeo here.
They're almost ghost-like,
Okay.
sort of a ghost tree. All right, so let's open the public hearing. Anyone like to comment on this item? So we'll close the public hearing, bring it back.
So, I just want to reiterate, so the screening plan that you propose, that isn't enough trees, and that isn't high enough. We all understand that. So again, the picture from the road, you can see it. And the picture from your neighbor's property, we can see it right now, correct?
Yeah, that's
Because
from the road.
the one picture you showed, so I can see it right here.
Correct.
And from your neighbor's property, so we will be planting, because it's 12-foot tall, right?
So it's got to be the height of the shed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely screened. Because again, it is white, so it kind of stands out a
Yeah,
little more.
you
which
made it harder.
And I understand that it matches, again, get it. But we're asking for forgiveness now, not permission, right? So as part of that, we're going to make sure we,
Absolutely.
perfect. As long as you guys agree to that,
Agreed.
then I can understand everything else, and I have no objections from the neighbors. Anything else?
Well, because it's January, they're not going to be.
So I would expect it to be done by May. Is that
Okay.
a fair,
Fair, done.
Okay.
okay?
All right, I think we got the parameters of a motion.
I'd love to make one.
Great.
So I will go with the permission request. So for the permission request for the existing shed located at 4911 Brinley Drive, for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood as many other neighbors have a shed in their yard for yard-type tools. If that motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days. Additional evergreen plantings will be required to be the height of the structure, and it will be that we cannot see it. So there will be no space between the arborvitaes, and you have until May 1st in order to plant those. So our ordinance department will then enforce it after that. That gives you guys time to procure them and plant them.
So I motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
I gotta do the dimensional.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I only did the permission, I didn't do the dimensional.
all right, I retract what I said.
It'll be there, though, give me a second. In regards to the appeal at 4911 Brindley Drive for the 6-foot variance, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all compliance with practical difficulty because compliance strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because it would not allow you to utilize the full functionality of your backyard. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors for the reason of, we are going to screen it so nobody can see it. The unique circumstance of the property has been demonstrated because of the fact of, if we move it more into that yard, then it'll be allowing for less recreational space for you and your family. This is not self-created due to the fact that you have limited space in your backyard. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days. And again, you already know the additional evergreen screening that you will be required to plant by May 1st.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Now your request is granted.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
So calling item 5, 4861 Cimarron Drive.
Good evening. My name is Matt Mosier from Mosier Landscape Architecture. Thanks for having us tonight. Representing the owners at 4861 Cimarron, this request is part of a broader project to enhance the house, plus some other features in the yard. In front of you tonight is the request for a sport court. To hit the key things, we are within the required setbacks. We do have, in the landscape plan, which is somewhere in here, have extensive evergreen screening. I think we got 38 new 12 to 14-foot spruces around the yard. We've got a hedge along the back of the driveway that's at 8 feet. And it tucks in nicely in the fact that it kind of sits down below a hill. The neighbor behind us is about 14 feet up on a hill, and it sits down below that. As part of this request, although it does meet the setbacks, We did talk to the neighbors on our street. The one directly affected is in full support, and the other ones surrounding our house, left and into the front, are in support as well. Since it's a pretty straightforward, oh, one more thing. There is a large septic field in the backyard, which limits where we can put this court and how far we can be from that septic field, which sort of dictates the placement and orientation. Happy to answer any questions.
What's the material the fence is made of?
It's a light mesh, so the typical transparent mesh that we generally
Okay,
use.
so it's not a, but it looks like it has, there's like a thicker frame.
Well, that's the rendering, guys. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's the
so it's
typical.
not, it's not actually, I was pitching it might have been like a, I don't know if it was a vinyl or a more sturdy
Right,
structure, but it's netting.
It's that typical nylon
Okay.
thin netting, that's
Okay.
correct. Yep.
And the only other question I had before we get, is along the driveway side, when I look at the landscape plan, it's hard to see. There is gonna be a hedge there, so I can't see it along the driveway side?
Yeah, so you can kind of see like that, I would call it a paver inlay for the
Yes.
pull-in. That line behind it, the white, that's an
Yeah.
8-foot tall solid hedge.
Okay, so
Yep.
I will not be able to see it.
Not
from the-
1 inch around the property.
But now on the left-hand side, you guys are planting spruces, but they're in a staggered formation, so technically will not provide full coverage, correct?
It will, that's why we're going with 12 to 14 footers, so that at that 6-foot height of where that fence would be, that would be fully covered out of the gate.
So you will be completely covering it?
Yes.
The landscape plan shows a couple openings, but we're gonna be taking care of
Yeah, and the openings that it shows are existing trees, but one, it will be covered, and two is your building department does a very good job on inspections, looking at every angle and
Okay.
all about it, so.
'Cause I'm not, I don't
I'm
love.
totally with you, though.
I don't love it.
I
So,
know.
okay, as long as we are on the same page.
100%.
I want your applicants, and I understand the practical difficulty with the septic field, but then I need to make sure that I can't see it.
Totally respect that and agree.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, so I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item? Close public hearing and bring it back for discussion or a motion.
I can make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll start with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 4861 Cimarron Drive for the accessory structure of a sports court, I move that the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with Section 42-7.6 standards. Because the use of accessory structure is appropriate for the neighborhood, this is a very common accessory structure, more even so today. In terms of the dimensional variance at the same location of 4861 Cimarron Drive, I move for the variance be approved as requested for the sports courts as well as the fence exceeding 4 feet. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome. Because without the fence over 4 feet, it would prevent reasonable use of the sports court. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors because it's going to be well screened, and also the property is tucked down low. Unique circumstances of the property, again, because of the septic tank to where, the septic field is where it's located, this is the best place for the sports court, and because of that, it is not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings shall be required to completely screen the fence and sports court from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the fence at the time of planting. There's no illumination permitted on the sports court, and the use of the sport court is limited to daytime hours only.
Support. I have one discussion point when you say it.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion?
So, Andrea, just to confirm, the building department requires a civil engineer or plan when we build sports courts, correct?
There will have to be, not necessarily sealed by a certified
Civil engineer.
civil engineer, but there will be a determination, as Matt is probably pretty well aware, to determine where the water runoff would be and to ensure that there's no negative water runoff with the construction of your court onto adjacent properties.
Yeah, and there is a fully civil engineered plan that landscape plan is over, and it's all totally engineered out already.
Again, I know you do great work. Just
Yep.
wanted on record that we're gonna make sure we continue to do that.
Totally legitimate question.
So, yes. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, request is granted.
Thank you.
Item 6, 1896 West Bend Drive.
Good evening, board members. I'm Bree Daniker. I'm the homeowner of 1896 West Bend Drive and the variance applicant. I noticed in the agenda that the issue at hand is the placement of my play structure in the backyard being in the rear yard. I just wanted to point out that the rear, I'm on a corner lot, so I'm surrounded by 3 roads technically. So my rear yard is the north side of the lot, which is where the play structure is currently. Originally, I was requesting a variance for my residential play set that is located about 3 feet from the property line. And I realized the requirement is about 16 feet. So what I had submitted was support to kind of showcase the fact that there's a huge slant in the backyard. That's the safest area that I could put the play set. It's significantly slanted. I also removed a bunch of overgrown buckthorn and poison ivy to make it a safe area for him to play in the backyard. I also planted arborvitae along the east and west property lines to kind of shield from, and they're not quite mature, they're a little bit smaller, to shield the east and west side of the property line from view. I think most of the time, other than winter when it's very bare, it will be pretty well shielded. The structure's a small-scale residential set designed to blend in with the landscape. It's not, crazy rainbow colors or anything like that. I have some letters of support from the neighbors who are very happy with it. And then, yeah, really moving it 16 feet from the property line would make it not so safe of an area for my son to play since it is so slanted. And that is the backyard. It's the, most rear area that I could put it.
Any questions from the board?
So the screening, it has to be screened, all year round, not just, so you had mentioned that when it's not winter, it's well screened, but it has to be screened all year round. So are you planning, I didn't know if that was a picture before you planted arborvitae or, because it didn't look well screened.
On the east and west side of the property, I had planted arborvitae when I put the playset in, so they're pretty small on the side lots. And I put the playset in before winter came, so it's definitely less shielded now. But as I've told the board, I'm happy to, plant more trees to shield it from, from the streets. I'm happy to do that.
So just, because we haven't seen a play structure in some time. So refresh my memory, we used to have to approve all of them, and then we changed the requirement to what?
A rear yard, 16 feet off the lot lines, and then no rainbow coloration, which you've already touched upon that, neutral tones, which it meets that criteria. Unfortunately, in this situation, it's the practical difficulty of the layout of the property that necessitates a trip to the zoning board because they are required to be in a rear yard. In this instance, the applicant thus using the side yard for their rear yard, it's still considered a side yard. So it's really due to the location of it.
But what I'm saying is those other play structures that are in the rear yard wouldn't have the screening requirement.
Oh,
Is that in the, do we still require that, or, I see a lot of play structures now.
that's actually a very, very good question. Again, because this is a little rare.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, I'm a little
Yeah.
rusty on play structures, we used to,
Yes, we get a lot of them now.
well, I've been doing this a long time, in the first 15 years, I did many play structures, so I'm just trying to understand, and now there's more sports courts and.
Well, I
Pickleball.
do,
Well,
Do we, well, it's not completely relevant, because I'm saying that maybe the screening is important because of the visibility of it, but I'm trying to put it in context.
So
Sure.
does the township consider it an accessory structure?
No, Andrea.
okay, so they're looking up the ordinance right now, and so there's no strict requirement about screening noted.
Yeah, because that's what I thought, because now,
Yeah,
I'm just,
because the intention was to somewhat relax the requirement of a very typical play structure.
Right.
So we drafted it in a way that would be less restrictive, more permissive. But again, in this instance, due to the layout of the property, she has a unique circumstance.
Right, but I'm
So-
just saying, in those cases too, probably not visible if it's behind or whatever, but I'm just trying to help her out here, but again, putting it in context is,
Yeah. The only reason why I say that, I know she has multiple frontages.
Right.
So that's the issue.
it's out more. It seems like that location,
It's very visible.
Yeah.
That was why I was
Yeah.
asking about
It is visible, it's also, she's 3 feet from the property line in the easement. So even trying to have her put any type of screening, it would be in the utility easement, which can only put certain plantings and only go so high. So it's a different type of ask. Because then she can't plant on the other side of the utility pole because it's not her property.
yeah, and she wouldn't be dealing with this but for the fact that she's got to send a secondary frontage, and that's,
Right.
she got a slow.
Well, it would, if she put it 3 feet from the property line, she still would, even in the backyard.
You said you did talk to the adjacent neighbors. Did I hear that?
Yes, yeah, I
And
have
they
letters
didn't-
from the adjacent neighbors, and the neighbor who originally complained said that she was fine with it now.
Okay.
It's the reason why I'm here.
You just have to close it.
Wait, I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to speak on this item? Sure.
Eric Phillips, 1974 Bayou. I have absolutely zero problem. And I'm kitty corner to the property there. We look out the front of our house towards what I would consider the backyard. Honestly, I didn't even know that the play structure was there until I got the notice. So it blends in perfectly fine. It truly is not like obnoxious or an eyesore or really even visible. It blends in with the trees that are there, even in the wintertime. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thanks very much. Is there any- oh,
I'm not sure if this is the right time. I'm on the board for Shorewood Hills POA.
So your name and address?
My name is Rose Fagan. My address is 2264 Shore Hill Drive, and I'm on the board for the POA, and so I'm representing the board. The board has no issue with the play structure. Ms. Daniker has complied with all requests to try to position this properly and screen the play structure so it is at least visible to passing traffic. And she has planted things which, you know, with the winter, all the greenery is, you know, gone. So it's visible, but I would say, as our neighbor has said, that it is not, it looks good, aesthetically pleasing, it looks good. It looks nice in the neighborhood, and I think it's in line with the environment for our neighborhood. It's very much in line with that, and the structure's been approved by our architectural committee. So,
Thanks for sharing that.
thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item? So I've closed the public hearing, bring it back to the board.
I would like to make a motion.
Please do.
So for the dimensional variance, in regards to the appeal at, I don't know. Which one is this? The West Bend?
Yes, 1896.
So 1896 West Bend Drive for the variance to be 3 feet from the property line. I move the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because of the fact that she has 3 front yard setbacks. So she's gonna have a road on each side. She also has a sloping lot for the safety of the play structure. There is no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the reason of all the neighbors are improvement of it. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated because of the fact that, again, we have 3 road frontages as well as easement along the back. So even though we are 3 feet from the property line, there is still additional green space that can help block sound and visible from the neighbors. This is not self-created because of the fact that this is how the house was built. Now, if this application is approved, all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days, okay? And I'm not gonna require any additional evergreen plantings or any different screening, as is.
Support?
Motion and support. I think that was a very well-crafted motion.
Thank you.
balancing all of the factors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
If you just come on down to our department, it's an ordinance permit where essentially they just want to verify that, for the record, that everything is located essentially. So that's when they say 5 business days for the existing structure. So if you have any questions, you can just come on down to the Planning, Building, and Ordinance Department. Will help you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thanks.
So calling item 73894 Peabody. Is the applicant ready? 3894 Peabody.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
do you want to table it or move it to the end, or would we like to deny it without prejudice?
Maybe call for public if there's people here.
What's that?
If there's people here.
Oh, okay. So first, I'll open this for public comment. Anyone like to comment on item 7? Okay. Yeah, so no one here to comment on it. So I guess what makes it easier for the staff?
Do you want to move it to the end of the agenda, see if they show up?
I had a lot of questions for this one. so-
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I
did ya?
I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable giving any direction at this time for the board to take any action based on.
No,
the
I wasn't
request.
saying take
Yeah,
action.
no, I
I'm
know.
just saying
I'm
deny
sorry.
without prejudice,
I'm sorry, I
move
was
to the
picking up on what
end.
Chris was saying.
No.
I think, it's whatever, if you did a denial without prejudice would have probably the same impact. A denial without prejudice would require them to submit a new application. If they have not been heard on their recent requests and the request remains the same, then I guess I would recommend a tabling. The difference would be without prejudice, they have to make a whole new application.
So why don't we just table it?
Should we move it to the end of the agenda, see if they show up? And then table it then?
Sure, I guess that's what we typically do. Let's do that. For some reason, I don't think they're showing up.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we amend our agenda and move item to number 7 to number 21.
Okay?
Support.
Motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Table to the end. We'll take odds. I'm not very sure. All right, calling the next item, item 8, 4915 Inkster.
Good evening, Zach Hanna, DHE, on behalf of the client, the homeowner of this property. We have this property started construction last year. It's a new house construction. And when we tried to put the pool, because of the topo, if you notice that the house is on a hill, because of the topo of the land, we needed to add a retaining wall so we will be able to build the pool. And adding a hot tub on the basement level and couple fireballs on the pool as well. So we are requesting variance for this one, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are we planning on screening the retaining wall?
Yes. Well, actually, the retaining wall is not going to be seen from outside because the topo, it's only the driveway. If you look at the property, you see this driveway going all the way, but either way, we're gonna put additional tree on the other side, just in case, but it's not gonna be shown.
So even the new construction neighbor to your north is not gonna be able to see it from their house or yard?
But either way, we're gonna put screening no matter what.
That sounds like a great answer, I like that.
Any other questions? I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment? Yeah, come right up to the microphone and just give us your name and address. No, you can do it at the microphone. No, we don't want you to strain your vocal cords.
Ellen Callahan, 1995 Cragen Drive. My husband and I have the property 2 houses to the north, not the new construction, but the one there. So I'm curious as to, you say there is.
So you have to talk to us and then.
Sorry, I would like to understand the level of screening as well, not only visually, but also sound. Natural vegetation,
Yes.
like a arborvitae ball, has some sound barrier to it. I just would like to understand what is that level of screening planned?
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else like to speak on this item? I'm going to close the public hearing and then, so you can see, you got to respond to the request.
Yeah, we're gonna put like evergreens or other trees that can provide a full screening of the of the visual screening, and also is gonna provide some sound as well, but we're not anticipating any loud use of the pool or anything like that.
So I got a question.
Yeah, you might be thinking the same thing. Go ahead, ask your question.
So, while we're not gonna have an open discussion with with the lady who, so her question was probably more geared towards sound mitigation from the pool. I believe our board can only enforce, the screening associated with the retaining wall, which would be the 10 feet. So again, if the pool is over 10 feet, the screening plan that you're talking about is only in front of the retaining wall, is that correct?
No,
Or
we're
you
gonna
guys-
we're gonna put screening on the higher side as well. I mean, because of the top of the lot, so the screening, the trees is gonna be all around. Even on the pool is going on the south side,
Yes.
so the screening is gonna be all around. It's not gonna be only from one side.
So the pool will not be visible by any of the neighbors?
No.
So when you say you're gonna be putting screening,
Here's all I was thinking, we really need to see a screening. I don't like to do this, but
Yeah.
it's too vague, right?
yeah, because again,
This is important. It seems like it's too vague.
and it's not that we're saying no, it's, I can't understand, regardless of some of the neighbors' objections, we have to understand how you're screening this. And you saying it, I don't see it. Whereas some of the other applicants, they showed us 3D renderings, so they showed me what that means.
They show
and I
where the trees are gonna be planted, so.
And then I can hold them to it, and so can our ordinance officer. It's hard for us to say it'll be screened, and that's pretty vague for us.
Is the problem is the retaining wall or the pool?
I would like to know all of your screening plan, so that I can make an objective.
Yeah, the problem is you've made a statement that we need clarity on. So you said, you're gonna put screening everywhere, and you're gonna put it around the pool, and everything's gonna be surrounded. We need a picture of that.
So basically, the boundary of the lot is gonna be all screened with the trees. Does that make sense?
It does, but what document do you have that I can then say, this is for our ordinance officer to enforce?
We can provide it to the township or to the building department or to you guys. Put it conditional, we're fine with that.
I guess my clarification is, I'm assuming, or I shouldn't assume, but what I'm hearing is that the intention is to provide for evergreen plantings along the entire northerly lot line?
Yeah.
Where it would impact the resident that spoke, and then also you saying along the easterly
Yes.
and southerly?
Yeah.
So that could be part of the motion, if the board were so inclined, is to specifically give that condition with evergreen plantings screening along the northerly lot line, westerly, and we'd have something. I guess the question is, from the northerly screening, are you intending on doing the entire northerly lot line, or just at some point along the house?
No, just to cover the area. I mean, it's up to my client, of course, but in this case, we'll cover the pool area, so the pool and the retaining wall will not be gonna be visible from the north side.
Then I will let the board make their determination based on the information provided.
So that's, you say it's up to my client. If I make a motion, it won't be, because then if the client says, I don't want to do that, then you don't get your.
No, what I mean is the additional screening to the west side is not required, because there is no pool, nothing there. But if the client wanna put the trees for the entire length of the property line, that's gonna be an extra.
So, Mr. Henry, I'm having a tough time because he has mentioned, and I can see it from his topography, the lot goes down. So is his trees on the outside going to be 20 feet because there's such a grade change?
That would be part of the requirement. We'd have to put a height, there's have to be a minimum height of the tree.
So, and again, he has mentioned it, and he's right. Again, beautiful home, interesting topography that you're probably building through. So how do we enforce that or say it based on the fact that I don't know what the grade change is and how high it needs to be in order to block that visibility? And it wouldn't be fair for us to come up with an arbitrary number we're guessing.
Right, so what is the purpose of the screening? Maybe we could answer that, is why are we, so he's offered it, we've gotten feedback from the neighbor about noise. So what's the purpose of this screening as opposed to, so it's not, there's not a shed that we're being screened here. We have, right,
It's
a
a hot
retaining
tub.
wall
In a hot tub.
and a hot tub,
So
so,
it's the hot tub and retaining wall,
yeah.
and whatever that height is.
Yeah, so it would seem like,
894.
It just has to be screened, so out of public view.
yeah, so at
And-
8 feet.
But
At
the
the
retaining
height.
wall is 10.
What's that?
The retaining wall is 10 feet.
894.
And then what's the height of what's the height of your hot tub that you're
Oh, the
proposing?
hot tub is 4 feet high. It's shallow, on the basement level.
On the basement level, so if it's on, is that gonna be on top of the retaining walls? Or
No, 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 that's below the retaining wall.
Okay. So let's say we're talking
So
about,
it, all right, so it has to be 10 feet.
has to be
all
10
around?
feet.
And I guess maybe as a further condition, we'd say he's got to turn in a drawing to the staff. I mean, I'm trying to avoid coming back, but I mean,
And I understand that.
but a screening plan
Yeah.
would typically be something that
Oh, wait.
we'd want to look at. Are you looking at the topography?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're thinking is 10 foot evergreen on the perimeter.
I think it's higher than that.
It looks like it's only a couple feet of difference from the edge of the pool to the property line, based on this topography.
Okay.
So it's 2 feet, so that gives us 0. So depending on how high it has to be, we have to add 2 feet to it, at least.
So now we're at 12. 12 feet? 12 foot?
Sure.
Are we going to specify the height, or are we just going to say it has to be screened at the height of the,
Well,
to completely screen it? You know what I mean? I mean, are we going to say it has to be 12 feet, or are we going to say it has to be?
minimum, we could say minimum 12 feet.
Minimum 12 feet.
That's what that's the way I word it.
Because then if there's some topography changes or in-field changes associated with your client's requirements or your professional expertise, then you know what you have to do.
Based on the data provided to date.
Yeah.
Yes.
And isn't that better for enforcement? I mean, at least now you've got a height, you've got a minimum height as opposed to, because I think it would be very difficult to then say the height, because of the topography change.
Yeah, I mean, we
There's
don't
too
know
many
that.
variables here.
I think as long as we had a definitive height,
12 feet.
obviously the intention is for screening purposes, so we know what that entails in terms of visually. But then just clarifying along what property lines would probably help.
Well, but I thought, so you said you were going to do it on
Northern?
north, east, and south, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and then how far
I
forward
go
is it going?
either the pool plane or the plane of the back of the home.
Yeah.
So that way, that still gives your client some latitude if they want to create, either it comes back in or if they continue down that path. And your client's going to be okay with this?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay. Even better, he's
You okay
smiling
back
still.
there?
That's great.
Give us a thumbs up. Is this good? All right.
Okay.
Wow.
We don't want to make a decision in the.
He's still smiling, which is even better.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I'm ready to make a motion based on that if anybody else
Okay.
is in support.
Outstanding analysis.
Thank
Okay.
you for your work with
Yeah,
us
thank you
and
for-
doing your best to
Thank-
accommodate the
yeah.
neighbors.
Cooperation back there.
And obviously who is in support of it, just trying to make sure that it minimizes the impact. But not trying to be a barrier to your client. So,
Scott's right there, aren't he?
you're Inkster Road, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you gotta give me a second. Okay, this is number 8.
This is number 8.
So number 8, so we have
4915.
2 permissions, we'll do permission for the hot tub and then dimensional. So, in regards to the appeal at 4915 Inkster Road, for the permission request for the accessory structure of the hot tub, I move the request be submitted as approved based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 standards because use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood. People have these type of things in the back of their home. Second, for the dimensional variance, for the application, in regards to the appeal at 4915 Inkster Road, for the variance for a retaining wall that is over 4 feet. I move the variance be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, applicant did demonstrate all compliance for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because they would not be able to build that pool and spa area because of the unique topography of it. There's no justice to the adjoining neighbors because we're gonna be screening it based on what we talked about in a second. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated because of the fact of unique topography as well as a retaining wall so that they continue to enjoy their beautiful backyard. This is not self-created because again, it's unique topography. Now, if this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. Additional evergreen screenings will be required. So along your northern, eastern, and southern property to the plane of the back of the home, we'll be planting a minimum of 12-foot evergreen so that we cannot see. That way, I cannot see your hot tub and I cannot see the retaining wall. Okay?
We have 2 firewalls, sorry, just to make sure we have.
Those were not in my package.
Those are included as part of the patio. We don't take those before the ZBA.
Perfect. I would have approved them anyway since you're so
Thank you.
nice. But we got it through. So again, just so we're clear, 12-foot along the northern, eastern, and southern property to the back plane of the home. If the homeowner decides to go further, and it's gonna be a minimum of 12-foot, either staggered or straight spacing, so I can't see through it.
Support?
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Your request as clarified and modified is granted.
Thank you.
All right, so item 94246, Sandy Lane.
Sorry. Excuse me. Thank you, Board, for allowing us to present our project. I am James Trentacosta. This is my wife, Marty Trentacosta. We reside at 4246 Sandy Lane in the Foxcroft sub, which is a really unique sub. I'm sure you're aware of that. We've lived there for 8 years. We love the township. We love the subdivision. We love doing really cool things. We have a beautiful sub. We have a unique house in a unique spot on a unique lot. And we want to do a unique project. And you guys could consider it a garage. Once you see some of the drawings, it's really not a garage. It's more than a garage. It's just a really unique structure we're trying to add to complement our home. You know, with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Harold Remlinger, who's the architect. He's done an amazing job, and he can explain more of the project.
Good evening, Harold Rumlinger, Design Team Plus, 975 East Maple, Birmingham, Michigan. Let's talk about the challenges, most of it dealing with the grade and the topography. I know you looked at the project, you can see the elevations. You know, just to set it in perspective, going west to east on the lot, from Shady Lane to the edge of the west driveway, we have 3.5 feet of fall. In property. So water course right now is all draining from Shady Lane across our front yard onto the driveway. The driveway itself drops another 3.5 inches to the east. And then from there, our site drops 13 foot 5 inches vertical within 34 feet horizontal. That's about a 39% grade when you look at that. As going north to south, again, we do have topography to deal with. Our driveway is sloping towards the front garage doors of the existing principal structure, and it is dropping approximately 1 foot 2 inches towards the existing house. So we have some water course that we need to take a look at. Per the zoning ordinance, R2 district requiring 40-foot setback on front yard. This is a corner lot. We have 2 front yards. The current principal structure is legal non-conforming. It is not 40 feet off of Sandy Lane, nor is it 40 feet off of Valley Forge. Sandy Lane, it's 35'4", Valley Forge, it's 38 feet. However, under the deed restrictions, we do meet the requirements of minimum setback, which is set by the deed restrictions of 30 feet from the line of the street. We are currently over that on both of those and meet the requirements on that. The design of the addition is subject to meeting the standards of the Foxcroft Architectural Building Guidelines, which states under Section C that it requires the building design to be compatible with the historical architectural character of Foxcroft. Also under Section 8, or H of that same guidelines, it does not allow detached structures, therefore our garage is attached with a breezeway, which is seen in our drawings. We took a look at a couple of different options when we were designing the garage, one of which was, do we do a double-loaded garage that's extend to the front of the garage going to the north? The problem with that is currently the driveway is a 5% grade. If we were to extend that garage further closer to Valley Forge, we would be exceeding 13% grade. Oakland County standards as well as Bloomfield Township standards require maximum of a 10% grade on driveways. We would never be able to meet that, and then that would also exacerbate the issue of water runoff coming off of Valley Forge down the driveway, entering into the garage, which is at the lower level. So we also looked at if we attach the garage to the east, we would then be looking at having 13-foot high retaining walls to retain our driveway, the entire length of the driveway to allow a car to be able to turn into that addition, as well as it would affect the existing retaining walls that are there and the terrace landscaping that is currently installed on that property. Our alternative was to do a garage subject further away from the existing doors of the attached garage, allowing any vehicle entering to that garage to be able to back out and head out onto Valley Forge forward instead of backing out. Since there is heavy landscape coverage on the parcel of land, which you can see in the landscape plan with the trees and bushes there to the north, that my client has been maintaining, and that is actually township property currently. So by having the garage in the position it's at, the breezeway that we're proposing is acting as a bridge. We are not putting foundation underneath it. This will allow all the existing water course and water drainage that is happening on the property to go around the new proposed addition and then enter into the rear yard, not affecting any runoff into the space or affecting any washout or any of that stuff. We are aware that we do exceed the 50% of our principal structure floor plan. Current existing home is 1,526 square feet. Current attached garage is 687 square feet. The proposed garage is 384 square feet. And right now, even though we are exceeding that percentage, not by much, but slightly, our lot usage allowable in Bloomfield Township's 30% lot usage for this zoning district. We are currently at 8.8% of lot usage only. I do know there's some dimensional requests here as well. One being the height, based on the deed restrictions, keeping with the architectural character of the existing house, matching the roof slopes of the existing houses feels like it's seamless. That then increased the height of it. Unfortunately, we do have over 13 feet of drop. There's nothing we can do about the east side elevation being close to 29 feet, just for the fact of the uniqueness of this property. And that drop is contiguous on either side of the principal structure, and it just drops off at that point. I'm open to answering any questions that you may have regarding this project.
Any questions from the board?
Not yet.
So let's open this to the public. Is there someone here who'd like to comment on this item? Okay. Come up and.
My name is Joanne Friday. I live at 4205 Valley Forge, which is directly behind the Terracostas. I do have several concerns. I know I'm not alone, but due to time, we're going to try to make it so you get out tonight. So the first concern I have is this, because of the elevation, is going to be a 3-story garage tower. I don't know what else to call it, structure. So we live behind, and when we moved into Foxcroft, if you've ever had the pleasure of going to Foxcroft, it is unique, it is gorgeous, it's a setting back in time. This will be the only structure of its nature in the entire neighborhood. besides the fact that it's setting up a dangerous precedent, it's also, we're going to be looking at it. It's, our backyard is going to be looking at this 3-story structure from the back. So that's 2 issues. The other one I have is, I don't know which, the bottom corner picture, I think that's it. I'm not an architect. So there's a picture where the bottom, the ravine height level is a garage door. The owner reached out to us a couple years ago and said he wanted to build a shed that would house or store a car and then build a driveway down there. And he asked if we'd have a problem with it, and we said we would. He did, in fairness, reach out to us. He said he already had board approval for this proposal, and said he would get us a copy of the prints, which we never did get from him. So I have the concern with having the garage on the bottom of the ravine is I'm nervous that he's going to then try to put in a driveway. And the last time he did building, he didn't pull the correct permit that I'm aware of. So I found out from the city, thank you city people, that a wall can be 3.5 feet, like the wall for a deck can be 3.5 feet, or reach 8 feet total. Because I'm not an architect, we just took a picture, so, because I can't describe it. So this, the lower wall is, the lower wall is 5 feet alone. The second level is 4 feet. So now I've gone from a picture of all ravine and all trees to over a 9-foot concrete walls for the deck. And now we're going to build a 3-story garage next to it. So it's really changing the whole view and the feel for the, not just the neighborhood, but for our backyard. I'm also concerned about the public safety. It is a corner lot, and on the one of the fronts, there's a stop sign there on Sandy Lane, but on Valley Forge, people really cruise. This is a neighborhood, if you know anything, there are people walking in all weather, with all dogs, with children, nonstop. If you build this structure, you're not going to be able to see around it. And I'm nervous not so much for the neighbors in all candor, but for the Amazon drivers, Uber, DoorDash, because if you're at the stop sign, you can see right now down all of Valley Forge. You will not be able to with this structure being built. It will change that altogether. I don't know if that makes sense, hopefully. I know that I'm not alone. I know I'm speaking on behalf of several neighbors. They didn't want to come all because we didn't want to be here all night, frankly. But we have a lot of concerns about this. So, do you have any questions for me? And there's no indication, like this, there was no trees built, there's no shrubs built. We look at this, we look at bright lights, which have been dimmed since I spoke with him, but that's been going on for a few years where I have asked directly, could you please turn the lights down? Because they go right into our bedroom and cast a shadow. And now we're going to have this other structure where I'm concerned if this is approved as is, there's an ulterior motive to then have a driveway to a garage that's right now going into a ravine. Do you guys want these?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anything else I can
Any
say?
questions? Okay, thanks very much.
Thank
Is there anyone
you.
else who'd like to speak on the side?
My name is Bob Cloutier. I live at 6112 Lantern Lane in Foxcroft. I'm the building director for the neighborhood, and I sign off on most all of these approvals. This one did get its sign off from the board and myself, though after seeing this additional garage door on the bottom side, I don't know if he's fully the 30 feet from the edge of the road to where the structure begins, which is where I was told he has ample footage for the township's rules. So it makes me very concerned that the distance from Valley Forge to where this new structure will be, this 3-story garage structure, accessory garage structure, it's not showing any hardship. He already has a 2-car garage attached to the house. This is just a single-car garage on the main level and then another building storage facility down below. So that being said, and again, it doesn't really fit with, the 3-story structure doesn't really fit with the charm of the neighborhood. Here you are in the ravine and you get this 3-story tower accessory structure.
So I guess I'm not following. Did you say that it was approved?
We did approve it
Okay.
because he said that he had the setback, the 30 feet from the roadside. So yes, we did approve it, but I'm still challenging the
So
variances.
this is you now or the board or what?
I'm the director,
Okay,
the
so
building director.
So what's, is it a qualified approval? I guess I'm not following what you're saying.
I would like you, the zoning board, to make sure that he has full compliance with the setbacks from Valley Forge.
Okay.
Because I don't think the 30 feet is really from the driveway to the edge of the new structure.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item?
Mr. Henry, can I ask a question to him?
Sure.
Is it Bob?
Yeah.
So you had stated that you as a director had approved it. Was this the same plan that you saw, regardless of the setbacks?
I didn't see these pictures directly, no. I saw what he had submitted to the city, which was just some basic drawings with no landscape plans.
Corey, do you mind pulling up what you submitted to us and see if it matches? So did it look like this?
That's what it looked like.
Okay, so
But,
we see the different elevations. We see the side,
Yep.
the back,
yep,
the other side, and the front. So you saw this, and this is what you or your board approved.
correct, with the understanding that they had the distance from the roadway to this 3-story structure,
Okay,
the 30 feet.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Hello, good evening. My name is Michelle Strait, and I live at 4234 Sandy Lane. I am in complete view of 4246, the backyard. And,
address?
I'm sorry?
What's your address?
4234 Sandy Lane.
Thank you.
If I can get one of the pictures, I can clear. Joe, can I get the pictures, please, so I can show them? Sorry, I have a little bit of a dry mouth. So my husband and I have lived in this house for 5 years. And what we are trying to do is I never received any type of drawing. I never received any type of plan. There was no communication when it comes to what they're looking at building. So there's no communication whatsoever. The only reason why we did receive the floor plan is because when we received the notification from your office, we are a bit concerned because it clearly stated a detached garage. And understanding the Foxcroft deed restrictions, that is not correct. But I do want to show you where my house is faced, and this is the beauty I get to look at too, with the bright green lights. And I don't believe my neighbor Joe had shared with you that these are much higher than 3.5 feet when you add them all up. And this particular project did not pull a permit. So we have some concerns as, I guess, an entire neighborhood. We did meet with several of our neighbors. We met on Sunday to discuss this. And basically what we want is before any variation approval is given, we, as the neighbors most impacted, which is myself, Joe, and a couple other neighbors, and the other Foxcroft residents request the following: that there is more of a detailed plan that all neighbors could have the opportunity to comment on. We need to know the full scope of the structure, engineering that must be completed to build the garage tower into the ravine, because he's building it into the ravine, which is right next to Valley Forge, which is not too far away from the road. So that's a concern as well. Sorry, I wish I had some water. We'd also like the homeowner to confirm that he is following the Foxcroft deed restriction under detached. And that reads, no single garages shall be permitted. Each garage must be attached directly or by an enclosed breezeway to the main building. Thank you very much.
What a nice guy.
Super, I'll drop one off to you tomorrow, thanks. So again, the restriction reads, no single garages shall be permitted. Each garage must be attached directly or by an enclosed breezeway to the main building. The plans presented shows a breezeway out to a new porch, not to the main building. And there's absolutely no verbiage on the information being shared with us that it is an enclosed breezeway. The assurances of beautification. If you know our area and you know the ravine, my husband and I moved from a lake house to this very special area. What we have seen now is trees being pulled without getting permits, and that was at the very beginning of our move-in. But what we also are seeing is this beautiful piece of artwork, I guess you can call it, but it's really ruining the beautification. And when we hear that he is going to include, I guess you can say, evergreens utilized to screen, we'd like to know exactly what type, what size, because at this point, with some of the other projects that have been done, there's a lack of trust. On the public welfare concerns, still not enough information to know how close to the street this will be and if it will obstruct views on oncoming traffic. The potential impact upon road traffic, safety that would be occasioned by locating a detached garage tower on Valley Forge must be studied and a preventative measure taken. Daily, the neighborhood has delivery vehicles, workers, trucks, and other vehicles in which the drivers is unfamiliar with the neighborhood. This detached garage tower is going to be another distraction. There are many more questions of understanding regarding this plan. We sincerely request the board to pause on approval until solid details are provided. This city cannot go on good faith for this particular plan. Thank you. Questions? Okay.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and let the applicant respond to the comments.
Yeah, excuse me, I would like to respond to the comments. In regards to the worries that the structure is too close to the road, the placement of the structure is 32 feet from the edge of Valley Forge and over 50 feet from the edge of Sandy Lane. So this will not obstruct any cars going around that corner. It's set back far enough. You know, the current vegetation that's at the edge of Valley Forge blocks your visual view of the people coming down that road. So that's no issue with that. In regards to the retaining walls, my client was contacted by the city of regarding that. He did hire a licensed contractor to perform that work. Unfortunately, they did not pull permits, and unfortunately, they are no longer in business. So there's no recourse that we can go back towards them. I do know in a quick measurement that we did, we're looking about 4 feet vertical to 10 feet horizontal for each one of those.
Did we verify that? Remember we?
There was a conversation with the applicant, as he stated, as I was aware that the retaining walls were of a concern. I did have a discussion based on the information presented to our one of our plan reviewers in our department. And if a retaining wall does not exceed 4 feet in height and it meets the 8-foot separation between retaining walls, we do not require a permit. So there is, and then also in the conversations that I had with the gentleman at the dais or at the microphone, is that this was a repair and a replacement. However, I did state that based on them going out there, doing the measurements, if they verified that something does not comply with our retaining wall ordinance, that would likely necessitate a trip back to the zoning board. That is why they went out and did the measurements to determine that it does not exceed 4 feet in height, and that the vertical, our retaining wall ordinance does allow for a single retaining wall, as long as it's 16 feet off the lot line, it can be 4 feet with an 8-foot separation and then another 4 feet. So we are trying to work with the applicant to determine if it in fact meets the letter of the law.
Okay, so we haven't confirmed the 4 feet yet.
He's presenting now that he went out and measured after
I
our
see, I
conversation.
see.
And I was contacted by someone here from Bloomfield, they're coming out tomorrow, and I did verify, measured it, 4 up, 10 back, 4 up.
Okay.
It's pretty clear, so. It was done with Superior Scape. They were the company, you guys may have heard of them, they went out of business unfortunately, so I got no warrant.
I'm sorry, I interrupted the response. I didn't. Go ahead.
As to the comment regarding garages must be attached with an enclosed breezeway, that comment is incorrect. Underneath the Foxcroft Architectural Guidelines, Section H, accessory structures and uses, all it states is detached garages are prohibited unless connected to the primary structure with a breezeway.
Well, we're here, we give variances from the Bloomfield Township zoning ordinance.
Correct,
We're-
which,
we're not-
yeah, I'm just commenting to
Yeah.
that so that you understand that
Yeah.
that comment was incorrect.
Yeah, we're not dealing with the deed restrictions.
Um,
And the variances for a
right.
detached garage.
Yep.
Okay.
We had numerous meetings with the subdivision association. We met with David Webb and Robert Colt here on the site. We also met with them on a Teams call to present to them the renderings so that they can get a better visual of what we were building out there. Obviously, we just verified the plans that were submitted to them are the plans that you see before you. There is no bait and switch here that has taken place. You know, it's obvious that, you know, I know precedence doesn't take place, but there has been other variances for dimensional setback requirements for detached garage within this area, including the principal structure that's directly to the east of us, dating back to approximately 1999. However, I know you're not allowed to take that in consideration. I think that we've taken a look at every possible solution of how we can actually get a third parking space here. Instead of having cars parked in the driveway and visually out there at all times. And I hope that you can take in consideration that we do have some extreme challenges with the grade on this property, and that this is a double frontage lot, and we do have some extreme drop-off. In regards to the comment on the driveway, this was brought up in our Teams meeting with both the president and Robert. And if a driveway was to be installed, they would have to go before the association anyways to have that reviewed and approved of. So that will be going before them if that's the case in the future, but at this point in time, there is no intention to go ahead and put a driveway in attaching to this.
And so the area in front of that, is that gonna be grass?
Right now, it's shown as being grass, yeah. So originally, the lower area was for like lawn equipment so that they can get in. Right now, to get into the rear yard, you're either entering in from the property to the east, or you're cutting through the landscape buffer that's between the property line and Valley Forge. Any other
Do
questions
you have
from the board?
questions from the board?
Yeah, so, on your plan, is that the property line that I see, the dotted line that goes in? Because
The property line comes in and kicks back up again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so how far away is this structure from the property line?
From the property line, we're just over 5 feet away.
Doesn't that require a different variance?
So
Or is
the
this what you're talking
complication
about?
here, yeah, the complication here is because this is a detached accessory structure in the eyes of the township, we do not allow for detached accessory structures in a front yard. The request before you is specific to allowing, the variance request is to allow for a detached accessory structure in a frontage. We do not have a defined front yard setback for these because they are not permitted. However, you can certainly take under consideration if you feel that the 6-foot setback is acceptable or may, you know, obviously that can be under your consideration, but they're not seeking a variance specific to a designated setback.
Because there isn't one.
Correct, because the variance is due to the location.
Yet, you did mention that you were 32 feet from the edge of this structure to the roadway,
That is correct.
based on what you said, and then 58 to Sandy?
Just over 50 feet, yeah, let me get back to my document on that.
Now, some of the other things.
Yeah,
that
we're 50 to Sandy.
So one of the other things that, one of the people mentioned was the fact that this is 3 stories from the back.
Correct.
Even if this was a single-story structure in this place, it would require significant grading retention walls in the back.
We would have a 3-story structure regardless.
Let's say there's
Because-
no second story on this, so we're gonna,
Well, there is no second story on it.
so that, the.
Those are just dormers on a gable roof. There's not like a actual second floor other than for storage.
So there is gonna be, so is there gonna be attic trusses put in this, or is this gonna be?
There will be attic trusses in there, yes,
So there will be storage up there, that'll be
for storage.
with the floor and all those things?
Not necessarily finished off for livable space.
Correct, because you have to have an affidavit anyways that you can't have livable space in it.
Correct.
Well, no, the affidavit is for single-family affidavit, just to
For single
clarify.
family, they can have technically living space in a detached structure?
No,
No.
they're not, they're not allowed to have a separate living space, meaning like a bathroom and a kitchen and what have
But
you.
it could technically be finished, but it cannot be living space, is what you're saying.
It can be finished without all the amenities of
Right,
a
if you didn't
separate
have
living unit.
a toilet and a shower or cooking or,
No, I think they got
Is there gonna be,
Yeah, no,
is there gonna be a stairwell?
There will be so that he can access to put storage up there, yes.
Is there a stairwell to the basement?
No.
Is there a man door to the basement?
There's a man door from the lower grade into the lower accessory
When I
structure.
saw that,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Okay,
So one thing I want to point out, this house is a walkout. The house itself is 3 stories plus.
correct. You also have grade changes, so I was going back to if
Yeah.
if the applicant wanted to build a 1-story, meaning that it does not have the dormers, there's nothing in there, we would still have 20-something feet on the back side of this.
Correct.
Of either retaining wall that would need to be screened or some other aspect, which it seems like they don't appreciate the look of that, no matter what, to accommodate a structure like this.
That is correct.
Okay. And then they were talking about engineering.
Yes.
All plans are gonna be reviewed by the township engineers, the township building, to meet or exceed all residential building codes.
That is correct. We will follow the latest residential building code. We will also have a structural engineer because some of these walls will be acting as retaining walls. So we have to treat them that way so that we don't have any washout or any collapse of the driveway, approaching this driveway that's there existing.
So again, and all those things, not only, some of the words where they want to be trust and verified, that's where our building department comes in, our
Correct.
engineering department, and our consultants. So those things will be then verified by a third party to meet all or exceed all those standards.
Yeah.
And then, do you guys have engineered flooring? Like, how are you guys gonna put this?
It
the
will be
concrete?
a hollow core precast concrete plank with a topping coat.
So then you'll have a crane put those in?
That will be correct.
and so the only access to that ground level storage is through that door?
There's also a man door on the side.
Okay.
So if you look at the plan, there's a man door to the north, entering into that space. There's like a little retaining wall that kind of goes around, Jim's pointing to it where the gentleman's walking
Okay.
in there.
And that lower level is, right now the intent is purely for storage?
Storage.
Okay.
So, on that, you had said the property to the north, which we show in the cutout here, is not owned by your client, it's township property.
North of the property line is not owned by my client, it's owned by I think Foxcroft Sub.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know who,
Or
it's,
RCOC, maybe
Okay.
right of way.
So, because you're talking about, one of the questions was about driveways. I'm trying to figure out how you'd be able to put a driveway in based on grades you're talking about, and if you have to go through improvements of somebody else's
we
property.
would have to go through permits with the township. We would have to also submit again to the board to get approval to do that. And if the driveway was to go in, it would have to be going further east to even get into that location.
Yeah, I think that'd be very difficult.
Yeah,
You'd
so-
actually have to get road commission
Road
approval.
commission
So
involved,
actually,
yep.
that's even, just
Yes.
let me
Because
just
now you have the
clarify.
second, well,
Yes.
is there a curb there?
No.
What
No.
there is a grade of dirt that a zero turn can go down to get in my backyard to cut, which I've got to continue that access back there so they can cut the grass. You know, so that's really all it's back there. And
So-
I don't anticipate putting a car ever there. I have a 1965 Mustang that is going to be stored in the upper level where it's going to be just a beautiful car. That's my intention. Okay?
But that is probably about, like, for lawn equipment and?
Yeah.
Correct.
Down here.
Yeah. Jim's planning on retiring, taking over his own lawn.
So, what is the interior dimension of the height of the car garage?
Yeah,
The lower one?
Nope,
The upper one?
the
We got,
normal one.
we have 7-foot overhead door, or 7-foot overhead door, which matches the height of the overhead door on the principal structure. And then we probably have maybe about 1 foot to 1.2 foot above that to allow for the door mechanism to allow it to roll up and operate.
Okay, so not gonna be a lift in the garage?
No, no.
Again, trying to find more details, because obviously the neighbors have said they wanted more
Yeah.
details. I'm
Jim
asking some
requested a lift until I told him, we have to design the floor to allow for the load per foot, and he said, forget that.
And he probably wouldn't have his second story for storage.
Correct, at that point, we would be even taller.
And that would.
No, that's not good.
That's
No, not at all.
That's a little bit of a bigger ask.
Yes.
Okay, so, again, so you're gonna have engineered flooring.
Yep.
You're gonna have all finishes match the current structure.
That is correct. All finishes, shingles, trim, siding. We have the same style cedar shake or cedar shake-like siding in the gable ends, which matches the gable ends of the existing house. Dormer sizes facing Sandy Lane are equal to or representative of what's already on the existing house facing Sandy Lane. And then as for the lap siding, that matches the existing house, and then the house does have white brick on it. The lower area will be, as you can see in the renderings, white brick as well. It's not like we're coming in showing just cinder block there exposed or poured concrete exposed.
So, I'll yield to some of my other members of the board, since I'm
Okay.
taking a lot of questions, but something that, I don't love 5 feet from the property line. I understand it's unique, but I understand that that's technically not where you're here.
Correct.
But you're still asking for permission to put it there.
Correct.
So this is where the give and take part comes.
Yep.
So the neighbors have talked about being able to see it.
Yes.
So whether I'm a car guy and I love to look at this and this is cool, other people do not. So we have to take into account that.
Yep.
So while my other members here can ask you some questions, I want you and your client to come up with some ideas of how we can screen this for those neighbors.
Okay, so one of the things to bring up with that, the neighboring property that's, I think, directly due east of us, I want to say the actual finished floor
Do you mind,
elevation.
Corey, do you want to put it in so I can see what east is, if you don't mind?
If you, yeah, I don't know if you, in the photographs that we have of the site, if we have something, okay, go back one more. So if you take a look in the bottom left-hand image, you can see heavy vegetation, trees, and coverage back there. That's continuous along the whole rear property line. The neighboring house that's behind, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have true topography and I didn't go look on Google Earth, but just looking at it from a street view, their finished floor level is similar in height to what my client's finished floor level is, which means they're looking into the canopy of the trees. So if I was to screen the lower portion at the property line, it wouldn't block anything considering their eye levels above. The only way they're gonna be able to see down is if they actually walk their property line down in that area to look in, and there's already some evergreens that are there and planted there and growing there currently. So, I mean,
Then how
is
do
it a
we-
matter of adding additional evergreens at that point? But you're talking to screen this entire structure, are we looking on putting in 30-foot tall evergreens or arborvitaes? I
I'm
mean,
saying this is where you get to help, you and your client get to help work with it, because you're asking a big ask to
Yep.
put this in. Now, whether we call it a side yard or the practical difficulty would be in that, but we've heard from all of the direct neighbors and nobody's in favor of it. And so it is hard for us to then say we're gonna go against all of the neighbors, right? I understand we had the approval, but so that give and take, right?
Yep.
So I need you to come up with a good plan for that, tell me what that's gonna be, and how did they get pictures that show where the visual is gonna be if they weren't on your property? Were those pictures taken on your property?
those pictures were taken on our property.
We can't talk to you, but you can say yes or no.
Those
Were you
were-
on your property when you took those pictures?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you with that, and they're gonna ask some other
Okay.
questions. So you gotta come up with something for me.
Okay.
So I have a comment. I think that it has to be screened somehow. If that was the front of the house with the garage door in it, there's no need for screening. It's the front of the garage. But if there's no driveway, whether there's an overhead door there or windows or anything, it would still have to be screened from the neighbors. Accessory structure, they would have to be screened, which
Except
means
for
that.
detached garages technically don't. I believe our ordinance, is that correct?
But the back of it's really not, if it's not gonna be a attached garage without a driveway, it's not a garage.
Our ordinance doesn't differentiate between attached and detached. I think historically, in terms of practice, has been that generally speaking, these type of structures don't require screening because they meet the architectural materials of the house and they're intended to mirror more of the design of the house. So it's still an accessory structure, so it still follows the accessory structure ordinance with the screening. But historically, again, due to the nature of some of these detached garages in the architecture, the board has sometimes waived
Okay.
strict screening.
And I agree with you, we need to do something.
Yeah, the front of the house is beautiful. The back of the house doesn't necessarily meet the charm of the neighborhood, and I feel it needs to be screened.
Okay.
There's no driveway to that door, so it's really not it's an accessory structure from that end, and it's not a garage.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. I mean, the visual impact of it needs to be softened in some way, and I think what you're saying is if even if, I understand what you're saying about, the difference in grade, but if you're looking at that picture there, that is a lot of structure that you're seeing that's very, sort
Hard
of,
surface.
what's that?
Hard surface.
It's right, it's vertical hard surface that is unlike anything in that area, right? That's not, and so, if you're not, if it's just your lawn equipment, I realize that may chop up your yard, we've got to think of some way to lessen the visual impact of that. And I think that's what your
Can I ask a
point was, Chris, and that's what you're saying.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What would be wrong with a beautiful brick paver walkway that had come down off the top of here, go there? Is that gonna offend people?
I'm still seeing that structure.
It still has to be screened.
Yeah.
So,
Would you be opposed to running a screening like that, slightly off?
Yeah, we're gonna figure out some type of screening. If we gotta put pine trees there or something, we're gonna commit to something like that.
But-
I don't know.
but we have to commit to something before we give you approval
I know.
today.
Yeah.
So that's for you guys to tell.
Yeah,
Right.
so he's drawing it in right now.
Yeah, so what I just presented to Jim, if you can pull up our landscape plan. You obviously can't zoom in on that, can you?
But I mean, do you understand our point?
No, I understand your point. Yeah, no, we fully understand your point.
And really appreciate that
Yeah.
picture here, so I think it,
Yeah.
it may have.
So, I mean, placing screening at the property line really is not gonna screen the structure, and we can agree upon that, correct? So what I just showed to Jim is maybe off of that northeast corner of the retaining wall, we can do a semi-arc of evergreens to actually screen the view of the lower level of the garage, but allow him to be able to access and get in and out of there if
If you do that, then it
yeah.
looks like it's 2 stories as opposed to 3.
Correct.
That's what we're
yes.
trying to do, we're trying
Yes.
to.
And at that
trying to
point, we only
soften
need
that.
to worry about bringing in like 12-foot high evergreens or something like that to actually screen that, and it'll screen the lower area and those doors from the view of the neighbors.
But that
We
don't-
would be more than willing to help with, do that.
So the way you're talking about it right there only helps me on the Valley Forge side.
No, that helps on the east side. So that would come off that retaining wall and then loop up.
Do you want to go point at the
I would
screen?
love for this, I'm sorry. I wish we had a pointer that worked, I apologize.
Yeah,
Budget
it
cuts.
doesn't work on this type
So
of
basically,
screen.
what we would do is come off of here and wrap around.
Okay,
So that way would screen any view this way, any view this way. These retaining walls is already coming up, screening the lower area from the home that's already on this side here. And there's trees planted on this.
yes.
So those trees are already providing screening from the house from the south of what we're putting here.
So again, we're gonna be going from the south to the north in
From
a
the south
semicircular
to the
pattern.
east, up to the north,
Okay,
which will block any view from this property looking this way.
basically getting us to the bottom of
Of the
the.
first floor.
The first floor.
Correct. And then we do have new landscaping put in there, we do have some new landscaping.
So the landscaping on the north, how high is that gonna be? Is that gonna be similar 12-foot trees or a tapered?
Well, there is already heavy landscaping already to the north on that, yes.
But if it's not a deciduous landscaping, it doesn't count, and landscaping that's not on your property doesn't count. So by planting on anything else doesn't count. It has
Let's get
to-
up there, let me read what it says over here.
Perfect, I love it. Are you good with like, kind of where we're going now, Scott? Like, do you
Yeah, I
understand?
think it softens it, because, like I say, the front of it matches the architecture of the house, it's beautiful. The back, when I look at that photograph for that rendering, doesn't really fit.
Well,
within the
I keep
neighborhood.
thinking of like a lifeguard tower. It almost feels
Yeah.
like it's something that you
Something
see out
to
on a
soften
beach.
that.
You know, a giant
So,
lifeguard tower.
yeah, so what we have going in right now is right adjacent to the building, that cluster of landscaping. They're bringing in 13 bloomerang or lilacs. We do also have a dogwood that's being planted. That is that larger tree that is just at the sort of northeast corner of the garage. We have 11 dwarf fountain grass, which is actually following the curvature of the actual driveway. We have 19 millennium alums being planted, which those are the little clusters around that rock that's there. And then we also have the existing large trees that are along that north elevation.
What were the ones that are directly north of the proposed structure?
Those are the lilacs.
Okay, so lilacs are not deciduous, they're not year-round.
They're not deciduous, they're not
And they're
year-round.
not tall enough.
Yep, so we can change those out and go with a arb or an evergreen or something that is.
What do we think? Again,
They should be
at the
evergreens.
bottom, they should be 12 feet because the structure at the bottom where your client's walking path is will be at grade, if we will. So that'll need to match those height.
Yep.
It needs to soften that side again. We're going to do 12 the whole way?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't need to be 12, remember, you're going up a slope.
It doesn't need to be, you're right.
So they can be adjusted, so they're.
It could, or we could still keep it at 12 to soften a little bit. This is that give and take.
Or start at 5 and go to 12.
I'm telling you, you're not making a good face. You're not.
So,
Yeah.
so why?
I understand what you're,
So again, I'm trying to soften it
yes.
because kind of the whole, when people leave here and nobody's happy, it means it's a good compromise. So, just like the gentleman before did 12 feet around his entire property to make his deal go through.
Right, yep, understand.
Again.
Yeah, again, like I said, I mean, putting it the property line, I don't think is gonna do us any justice. Putting it adjacent to the building, like I just pointed out up there with an arc of 12-foot high evergreens, I think that would work out. I don't know if you can pull up the photographs of the site again.
So now, Andrew, how would we enforce that though? Would we need a
Keep
landscape
going.
plan?
I would almost prefer that at this
Stop right
point, the
there.
applicant, we either were to draw something up. I feel due to the sensitive nature of this, I think that having a actual landscape plan may provide a little more
We
comfort
can-
level.
We can have this landscape plan revised to show that. Because we
I-
did provide a
I think that'd
landscape
be better,
plan.
particularly because you've got, you know, people that.
Yeah. So what I
didn't us
wanna
go
point
forward
out.
At all, they wanted more detail, we have some more detail, but this is extremely important because this is my sense of it is that visual impact from that picture is why you're getting the comments that you're getting. There's a lot of other things, and there's like, you know, there's safety concerns with the road and all, but that visual impact is dramatic. So you gotta soften it.
Yep. These are all existing evergreens, full height, that are already shielding it from the road.
Are those on your
But
property?
it's not on your property.
Right.
So
Yes.
it's the same thing when we say somebody has a shed and they say, my neighbor put in property on it.
Yep.
I need it.
Understood.
Because that neighbor could cut it down.
So we're not, none of those count.
Yep, we can go ahead and provide evergreen along the north side as you suggested.
Okay. I'm gonna yield to the board on this. Again, I'm okay with the fact that we're gonna be planting all 12-foot evergreen, whether it's at grade or
Are you
at the
gonna make
base
a
of
motion?
grade, the entire way. But I do understand that how do I enforce it if we just say it out
Get a
loud with an arc without a new landscape plan?
I'm
having
struggling,
a hard time enough
I'm,
right now.
right now? I would like something formal. I'm
We need
just.
2 votes, so we need 3.
I know. So I wanted to express where my head is just right now. I'm still really, really struggling with it. Maybe with a formal landscape plan may help. I definitely understand the practical difficulty. I definitely understand that. And I do understand that regardless of what kind of garage you would build, it would have to be, you know, have that because of the topography. But what it takes to make it palatable is maybe challenging. So I would like to see a formal landscape plan.
And we can provide that when we go in for permit. That's not an issue at all that the board and panel can review prior.
You need to find a way to convince 4 people to let you wait. You need 4 people, so if Ms. Jocelyn here isn't on board, you need to make sure all 4 are comfortable with that.
Understood.
Jocelyn, I understand you're struggling with this. I wish you could see pictures of the house when we bought it to what it is today.
I think it's beautiful, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
it is.
I think
It
it's
is, it
beautiful.
is.
And I don't think, the awesomeness of this, it does look big. Because it's an image. I don't think it's that big. Now, it might be tall, but it's not that big. That's all I can say. I want to make everyone happy. I don't want people to be unhappy with me because I'm the neighbors with the huge dog that runs around, okay? So we're going to do whatever it takes to make this right. And I love landscaping. My friend Gus is a genius at figuring this out. We'll have a beautiful plan back to you for permitting. I promise you.
So I looked at the drawing that was just presented. That arc's too far away from the building still, so it's questionable as to where those trees are planted. The closer to the building that you get, the more it screens it.
Correct.
So I don't know how to make a call on whether that's the
That's
plan or
what I'm
not.
Oh,
Well, again, we
I'm just
can
being
provide,
honest.
we can provide an actual landscape plan to be reviewed by the planning.
Well, I think the issue is the board is gonna need that information in order to get to a comfort level.
Okay,
And if it's through permitting, then that takes it out of the board's hand. and
Got it.
And so that leads it to our administrative approval, so that I will defer to the board.
okay.
Yeah, so my suggestion is that we table this till we have that landscape plan. I don't think, I don't feel comfortable voting on it without that. I think,
I
Scott,
agree.
you said the same thing, so I don't, we don't have four
We'll
votes.
need that
for
to get you the votes that you want.
Yeah,
So-
So I think that's what you're gonna have to do. So I think directionally and conceptually, you've got some feedback to work on with it, and
So with the tabling, is the tabling just being on the landscape plan while the other items can be approved? Or how do you want to,
I am not gonna make, I cannot make the motion because I will not get a second to get it approved.
got it,
So I can make a motion that we'll table it, so it doesn't cost you additional fees.
okay.
That gives you enough time to come up with a landscape plan, and then hopefully talk to the neighbors. Whether they like it or not, I would hope or implore you to then show it to them. They may not like it, but then at least we're including them as part of it.
Right.
They get to see it. You have already done some beautiful renderings and things. They can then see that, and hopefully that can soften it.
And I do, I sense that, so we had this issue with the retaining walls and, trust, and there's gonna be a driveway, so I think maybe some dialogue might mend some of those feelings too, so maybe they won't, but I think that would be helpful for you as well.
No, we felt that was the case when we had the meetings with the association board and the
Yeah.
architectural review committee, so,
Yeah.
and they felt comfortable with it, so that's why I thought that was already handled and taken care
Okay,
of.
well, you could kind
But,
of see.
understood,
tonight-
no, I can understand, no.
Okay.
Again, I mean, I think, Gus can revise this, and then we can resubmit the plan.
Okay,
In the meantime, while it's waiting to go before the board again,
Okay.
we can have my client meet with the residents and show them what the landscape plan's gonna look like. And we can throw in some evergreens within the rendering.
yeah, I think that
That's
would help
great.
too, again.
That would help the board also.
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
it
you
really
wouldn't
would.
see anything on the bottom. I mean, you just see everything above the bottom.
And it's such a stark color too, I think that's,
So-
I know it
It-
matches, but it,
I think that would help get this across the finish line.
Yes.
So you have our direction, we're not saying no, so I would like to make a motion that we table, item number 9, with it, and we'll let them come back to us.
Support.
Do we know when the cutoff date is for resubmission?
Oh, we have less than 2 weeks before we have to notice for the February meeting.
Okay.
So it's gonna depend on, I can't promise you that, because it's gonna depend on you making the accommodations that the board's asking for. But I will tell you that there's about, you said there's. 14 or so. We have about 14 days before we have to get our notices out, and we're not gonna send out a notice until we've got that landscape plan and you've had that meeting with it. So I would encourage their cooperative, occurrence, so keep us posted. But we do have a noticing deadline for the February meeting. If we don't get it by then it would have to go to the March meeting.
Okay.
And maybe even on your way out, you could set something up and, because it seems like, you've got the information to get the plan, get going as soon as you can. So, you want to make the motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we table item number 9, and give the applicant more time to come up with a better landscape plan based on the feedback presented from the board.
Support.
Have motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You've got your direction.
Thank you.
Do you want your thing back, sir?
Thank you.
Very cool. Nice plan.
thank you.
So let's call the next item, item 10, 3278 Barron. Is the applicant ready for item 10? 3278 Barron.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd be willing to make a motion to move this to the end of the agenda, of this evening's agenda.
So we have a motion to move it to the end of the agenda.
Support.
Support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Item 10's to the end. Item 11, 5980 Braymore.
Good evening, Board. My name is Eric McClellan. With my wife, Elise Gabrielson, I am the owner of the property at 5980 Braymore Road. We are requesting permission approval and a dimensional variance for a sauna that we built in good faith on our property, not realizing we needed a permit. We put it in our side yard because while we didn't realize we needed a permit, we did have the common sense to know that we couldn't place it over our septic or drain field. And so it is in as close to the backyard as we could possibly make. It's a freestanding structure. It's approximately 7 by 7 feet. It was a kit that we assembled. We built a small pad with pavers, and we have a plan to include screening with 8-foot Blue Point junipers along the back, the Braymore Road side, to screen it completely. We live in a heavily wooded lot. It is up on the top of the hill. We've done everything we can to make it blend in with the property, especially with the details of the house. We painted it the same color as the house. It is a dark color. It is barely visible from the road. I haven't had any feedback from the neighborhood other than the dog walkers who say, wow, that looks cool. Where can we get one? And when do we get an invitation to come use the sauna? I think that is all the information I have, and I know that you have the information as well. So I'm open to any questions.
Do we have any questions from the board?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, I'll open this to the public. If anyone would like to come up and speak?
So my name is David Daly. I'm the adjacent neighbor. I live on 6000 Braymore Road. So I face the structure that you're seeing on the screen from my property. So I can see this from my living room. I can see it from my driveway. I can see from all bedrooms in my house. And also where the sauna is sitting, what you're not seeing from this picture is that on that lot, as well as seen from our property, this sits at the highest point of the ground, and so it is very visible from where we live. I moved to this property in 2017, was very drawn to the wooded surrounding of the house, the lack of structures or extra buildings or fences enclosing the house. And so as of now, I do have to say that my home experience has been impacted by this, and I did hear that from the homeowner that the sauna is not really visible from Braymore, but it is visible. When you walk on the street, it is visible. And I also have one more concern I want to communicate. So this is a second structure that was erected within 12 months of period. There is also an open-air enclosure containing a vegetable garden, which is encroaching our property line. It is built right. I didn't have time to measure this. I basically received a notice on the 23rd of last month, and so I didn't get to do a survey or any measurement. But on my side yard, on the halfway of the usable part of my side yard, right outside of my property line, there's an enclosure standing as well. So I am concerned that this is an indication of additional structures that are going to continue to build that are obstructing the beauty of my property. And also, these structures are sitting closer to my property than the other houses to these structures. So yeah, it is impacting us. So just wanted to communicate that.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing. Did you want to ask any questions before we had the applicant respond, or? So why don't you, you want to respond to the public comment?
Yeah, the structure is 30 feet from the lot line. And we do have plans to completely screen it. If we need to put the same kind of planting on the
You're going to have to
east
screen
side.
it.
What? Yeah.
You're going to have to screen it.
We're gonna have to screen it, so we will do
Okay.
that. That's no
Okay.
problem.
Yeah, so, I've driven by this, I can see it.
Mhm.
I know it's there. I can understand his perspective. His home sits a little bit higher than yours. And again, while your lot is very treed, it's not always deciduous trees, right?
Mhm.
So you point out some evergreen trees, like we said to everybody else, those evergreens aren't on your property.
Right.
So just because he has an evergreen planting in his property that may obstruct it, it doesn't count.
Fine.
So 3 junipers are not gonna do it. So like, I saw yours and I'm like, okay, I understand that you have that engineered septic or that septic along the back and it takes up the whole backyard. So you are asking not only to put this in your side yard, we're asking for forgiveness.
Mhm.
So we ask for those things, we need more in return, right?
Yes.
So, it's not just the front yard that I'm gonna need screening on, it is the side and the back. Because technically, depending on who your backyard neighbor is, they could possibly see it from their property.
Okay.
This cannot be visible from any other neighbor's property.
Fine.
So that, again, plantings must be 8 feet or
Mhm.
greater, that's the height of your
Right.
structure. And then it can't be separated so that, they'll grow into it. Has to be completely visual.
Understood.
Make sense?
Yes.
That way, your neighbor who happened to see this will not be able to see it from any part of his property.
Fantastic.
Very clear on that?
Very clear.
Okay, and then for the ordinance, if there is an accessory structure, like a garden or those things, our ordinance officer would determine if it's appropriate or not, right?
That's correct. I don't have any notification. I know our ordinance, has been made aware of the existing structure. If there's some sort of additional garden structure out there, we would have made a determination of whether or not it had to come before the board. So I guess I'll double check with my lead ordinance officer, but we generally don't regulate, vegetable gardens.
Correct.
So I guess, but we can certainly double check and make sure that there's nothing that would require ZBA approval.
So, just closing the loop, so if it's not, then nothing we can do. If it is, then he'll have to come back and adjust it then. Okay? I have no further questions.
Are we ready for a motion then?
Sure.
As long as we got 4.
Okay, so for the permission request, in regards to the appeal at 5980 Braymore Road, for the accessory structure that's already installed, I move the request be approved as amended. Based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance for section 42-76 standards because the use of accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood as people have saunas or spas or those type of things in their yard. For my dimensional variance, because the sauna is located in the side yard and not the rear yard. In regards to the appeal at, again, 5980 Braymore Road, for the side yard variance, I move the variance be approved as requested based on information presented. The applicant did demonstrate standards for all practical difficulty because compliance with strict level of the ordinance would be burdensome, because then you'd have, if you put it in the back, you can't put it over a septic field, which would then get it closer to one of the other property lines, which would then require another variance. So you're still 30 feet away from the property line. There's no adjustments to adjoining neighbors by the reason of we're putting in screening, which I'm gonna outline very clearly.
Absolutely.
And then the unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated because of the fact of unique topography and your engineered septic field or septic field that is very large to that backyard. And this is not self-created because of the fact that I believe that septic field was installed prior to you being there.
It was.
So with that, if this motion is approved, all application permits must be made within 5 business days. It says, but 5 business days. And then additional evergreen screenings will be required. Those evergreen screenings must be at least 8 feet in
Understood.
height on the Braymore side, 6,000 Braymore side, and then making sure that your neighbor at 59,950 and then 59,650 cannot see it. So if you have to go past the structure, they can't see it, and that there's no peekaboo. So you have to stagger them, whatever it is. That way you can continue to enjoy your sauna, and your neighbors can continue to enjoy the peace that they have.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Support.
Now, one question. So the permits, does that That's the permit for the structure and the electrical permits that we'll need to run power to it.
Come on down to our department, we can we'll be more than happy to help you. It's just because it's an existing structure, we have a limited time frame of 5 days.
Fantastic.
So you'll have to do both. Same thing that I gave to the other person to make sure that we have the ability for those trees to be planted and for you to procure the right trees. I'm gonna give you until May 1st in order to plant those. But by May 1st, those better be planted.
Fantastic.
Fair?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request as modified is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 1230, South Berkshire. Boy, it's too bad the students didn't stay for the whole meeting.
They would have learned so much.
Yeah. They missed the best parts.
Hi, Christopher Johnson, representing the Sigmans at 30 South Berkshire Drive, and hoping to get their dimensional variance for the repair and stabilization of an existing non-conforming barn. Ian and Cole purchased their home at 43575, just to the north of this property on Woodward in 2018. Have since taken great care to thoughtfully update and restore the 100-year-old structure. In early 2025, they purchased the adjacent parcel at 30 South Berkshire as a way to preserve and enjoy the existing landscape and to create a space for a small personal garden that complements the residential character of the property. The property includes a small existing barn structure that has fallen into disrepair, and their intent is to simply stabilize and repair it so it remains safe, functional, and consistent with the character of the site and the residents adjacent to it. The barn sits within all principal setbacks, and has a certain historic charm to it that feels a little more than kind of an accessory building. So I think we're going to take great pains in trying to restore it thoughtfully. And the Sigmans are looking to make the necessary repairs and utilize the barn as a space for storage of gardening tools and Cole's photography and art equipment. We do have letters in support from some of the neighbors and have not heard any opposition yet.
Any questions from the board? So I love barns. My house is 105 years old, and there's actually a barn that we use because we don't have a basement. There's 22-foot high middle ceilings slant, and then we got 2 basketball nets up that my kids played basketball in. So that's nice that you want to do that. I'll open this to the public. Anyone want to comment on this? Close the public hearing and bring it back for discussion.
I'll make a discussion in the motion if you'd like, unless you want to, Jocelyn.
Oh, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Yeah, I drove by today. I think it's a great use. They've already updated the house very well. It's a beautiful home. Some nice character up in that northern area of our township. So with that, I would like to make a motion for the permission request in regards to the appeal at 30 South Berkshire Road. For the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance of section 42-76 standards because the use of this accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood. It's been there for a long time, and all we're doing is trying to update it to the current standards and match the aesthetics of what we've already done with that nice home over there. For the dimensional variance required because it is in dual frontages and it's only permitted in your rear yard, I move the variance at 30 South Berkshire Road be approved at, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because we'd be knocking a structure down in order to try to build something else, which would still require type of variances because it's in both yards. There's no justice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of it's already been there, and all we're gonna do is make it better than it was. A unique circumstance of this property have been demonstrated because, again, this is already here, we're making it better, and I understand that it is a accessory structure without a permanent residence as well. So, but again, it's unique to the property, that's how you bought it, and then this is not self-created because, again, you guys bought it this way. If this motion is approved, all necessary permits must be made within 1 year for your barn restoration, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. I'm not gonna require any type of additional evergreen screening. There isn't any now, and again, it's an exterior structure associated with a garage. I think it's okay.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted. Thank you. Good luck. Calling the next item, item 13, 1383 Club Drive.
Good evening. My name is Richard Pfeiffer, and I live at 1383 Club Drive. And my request involves putting boulders along my lakefront, which has been eroding over the last few years. I've lived there 50 years. You're probably wondering why now, after being there 50 years. I had a large cottonwood tree in the on the lakefront that I lost in a storm 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been experiencing the erosion since then. And I don't know if that's the reason for it or whatever, but it's become more and more of a problem. So I feel I need to do something about it, and that seems to be the best way to deal with it. So I'm here tonight to try to get your approval to put in those boulders to stop that erosion.
Any questions from the board? Open this to the public. There's a comment. Close the public hearing and bring it back.
Well, I'll make a motion. No, any questions?
I think we're good.
I guess just popped through my head was the boulders, are they okay for the natural features? But I would assume that they get approval for the type of granite and.
I'm sorry, you want to speak on behalf of, there was an Eagle permit required?
Yes,
There you go.
I'm Bethany with Landscape Gardens, and we did submit an application for the plan review with Eagle. They haven't gotten to us yet, but just following the other properties around, that this isn't a unique feature, that, you know, other people have different types of seawalls. We're doing something that's very low impact as far as visually, and also not, you know, there's quite a slope going down. You won't really even see much of this boulder wall from, it's going to be really close to the water level.
I kind of would like the Eagle permit, but,
We can make it just pending Eagle permits.
okay, that's a good idea.
Actually,
Can we do
yeah,
that?
yeah, because they will be required to respond about their Eagle before we would issue them a permit.
Well, if
So
they
when
don't
you
get the Eagle permit, it doesn't matter what we say, right?
So it's, they do kind of go, so when you say required for all necessary permits.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
You know, I mean, we can put that as a condition, but if they don't get the Eagle permit, they can't put them there.
They can't do it, okay. Well, then I'll make a motion in regards to the appeal at 1383 Club Drive, dimensional variance for the, what are we looking at?
Encroachment
Oh,
into-
encroaching into the natural feature setback. I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty. Because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because without, impacting the natural features and putting up that border, he would have continued erosion. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors, because again, this is going to be on his property, it will not be very visible. Unique circumstances of the property, because it has lake frontage, and there is times, even 50 years later, that you have to protect it from further erosion. And because of that, it is not self-created. If approved, the motion includes applications for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year for the shoreline erosion control project, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And I'll also add into the motion that, of course, you're going to continue to get your Eagle permit, and that it will be contingent on that.
Now support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you, Board.
Calling item 143855 Corton Road.
Okay, Matt Mosier again, representing the homeowners at 3855 Corton Road. We have a number, this is a really unique and, in my opinion, very cool project. We have a number of different variances based on various hardships that we have. To give you guys some context, my clients are a younger couple. They moved in 6 or 7 years ago and have 4 kids under the age of 7, so the kids are bugging mom and dad for everything the kids want, pools and all that. So we initially started by looking at the rear of the house behind the garage. So we were going to remove the garage doors and look at doing a pool back behind the house. Upon getting a survey, we ran into the fact that the largest county drain runs right through the back of their driveway, and basically the easement is the most of the backyard. So that eliminated all of the backyard options as the easement goes right through the middle of their whole backyard. Fortunately, they have quite a large property, and it's in unique shape in that it's a pie. And in that pie, there is a neighbor's driveway that flows to the west of where you see our improvements, and that has a dedicated easement. So we were contending with that as well. So with exploring all of these different items that we were dealing with, we came up with what I think is a fairly nice plan that should be a good example of what you could do with one of the older homes. And not only is this part of the renovations I'm talking about, but they're going to be redoing their home as well to really add some dimension and context to it. So I'm going to start from east and go west. I think that's the easiest way to do this. Can we flip those renderings on? I think those give you a really nice perspective. Color renderings. Yeah, okay. So little hard to see, but this is the proposed additions. So in the very top right corner, I don't know if you guys can see it on your screens or not, but can we zoom in at all that right corner? Sorry to make you do all that work.
Sorry, which one?
That top right corner, just so we can kind of see that front porch. Okay, so similar to case number 1 tonight, pretty common nowadays is we're proposing just a nice simple front porch to give the house some front dimension. This porch basically just covers the existing front steps. So it does encroach into the setback, but there's a couple things that are unique. This particular house sits almost 80 feet from the road. So even though we're encroaching in the setback with that front porch, we're still significantly further from the road from many of the houses that would be within the 40-foot traditional setback. As we move to the west, you can't see it in this picture because it's screened. And I think one of the points about the screening in this is that we are proposing structures behind that screening. And a lot of times, you know, in my world, I see people just throwing up a line of screening. We're really conscious to try to make it look purposeful, to make it look balanced, to make it look layered, so that you're not just looking at a long line of something. So if you see from the landscape, and it has nothing to do with your approval, but just the time that went into how do we get the aesthetic to feel right across the entire property, okay? Can we scroll back out, Corey? So then if we scroll into like the bottom left picture, so that's what's within the screening. So there's a flat roofed pool house, a small pool, it's about 15 by 38, and a little covered pergola area. The pool house serves as, since it is sort of a destination thing, it serves as a secondary area to grab a drink or whatever when they're by the pool. Obviously helps with road noise off of Corton. And we were conscious to keep it as a flat roof so that it could be easily screened from the Corton roadside. On the other side, there's also screening. That neighbor is the only one that is impacted by this in terms of being close to the project. And my client, who's here with me tonight, had a nice conversation and received approval from that neighbor and wished him luck on the project. So we did do our due diligence on that. So I think with everything we're dealing with here, we were able to fit what I feel is a tastefully designed addition to this property with a lot of constraints. And we certainly, and I can go through the practical difficulties, but we certainly have a lot of practical difficulties here. We've got easements all over the place, not only actually in the back, but on the side of the house. We've got a pie-shaped lot that makes it hard to try to fit everything within the required setbacks. We're on a major main road, which requires some buffering. So I feel that we did a pretty good job, and of course, try to be as respectful as we could of the township's ordinances, and in most cases, especially in like the back where the neighbor's affected, we met the 16-foot setback and things like that, just so it doesn't affect them at all. As Mr. Kolinsky likes, is we've screened the heck out of this thing, so you won't see anything, but happy to answer any questions.
Might as well start now. Do you mind?
No, I didn't know if you wanted to open the public and then hear some comments. Is there anyone like to speak on this item? Okay, close public hearing now.
Okay, so, yeah, I know this property pretty well. It's a very unique lot.
Right.
So again, I understand, not only was the backyard with that drain, it's also pretty narrow anyway. So it would have made it very tough to try to fit all those things in. So, on one of our slides, can you show me where the fence is gonna be? Because I know technically pool fences are not screened, but you're in the side yard, so where is that pool fence gonna be?
Can we go to the plan view, Corey, please? The landscape plan? Yeah, right there. So if you look at the yellow, it weaves in between all the evergreen trees. So the idea is that you don't see it from the road.
So, because when I look on the roadside, on the top of that,
Yep.
so
You have-
I always think of, when I think of a pool fence, I think its intent is to screen the pool. We're adding some additional yard with that, which I understand because of where this is.
Right.
But is that gonna be seen at all from Corn Road?
Not at all. And we know that. When we place all the plants and it's in there, you will not see that pool fence from the neighbors, the road, any public view.
Okay, because we're putting this in the side yard. And again,
100%.
Corn Road's there. I also, again, I want privacy for them too. People are driving down that, their light's gonna be there.
Yep.
So-
And I put that fully on record, and that's their intention too. It's just the fence goes away to everybody, including public view.
Public view, so what about on the, more south of the bottom end? You obviously showed me some big trees. Is there a hedge that goes all the way on that, towards the bottom on that?
Yeah,
bias?
so basically, when we do a fence plan like this, it's hard to show everything, but as you probably know, like when we go to actually do those plantings, we set them on site.
Okay.
So we stand at every angle and make sure, and like I say, and I said it in the last case, is, the building department is really on top of that now. They literally stand out there and they look at every angle as well. So I think your concerns with my cases and everybody else's will fortunately be addressed from here forward.
I don't do the follow-up where I make sure that's the right thing.
But
I leave it to the professionals.
Andrea's team does a good job.
This is also on a more main road, so
Totally
I understand
respect
that
it.
when they have kids, they want that fence in. I also don't wanna see it. And I understand we don't have to do that for pool fences.
Yep.
But I also don't have to prove it in the side yard either. So it's that give and
Totally
take.
get it, this is an area, they got young kids, and I'm sure, I don't know if you have kids or not, but, you just wanna have that comfort that they're not gonna get out to the road and they have a little space to play, so, but you won't see it, so.
So then, I also, when we looked at the landscape plan that showed the renderings, which was great, I could see the roof of the structure.
Yep, so we'll make sure that when it's done, and you're welcome to put it in your motion, that you cannot see the structure from public view. So we'll make sure that those cedars are to the top above that structure, so when you look from Porton, it's not visible.
Or the neighbor's property.
Now, to give you some context, us architects, we like to show a little bit of that dimension because it looks good, but we know.
I understand, I'm making sure you and or your clients are
Totally get
understanding that. Or if we have to buy 12-foot trees and make it work, because even though it's 10 feet, that is going to be the requirement.
They understand, I've went over that with them and totally agree. I just gotta make those renderings look good.
I get it.
I'm kidding you.
It's a give and take, so.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't really have anything else.
So I'll say I drive by this a lot, and until we met this morning, I didn't realize that the property behind, that has the easement, didn't own that frontage. That the shape of this lot is extremely unusual. I think you've done remarkable job because of all those things. It's very visible, it's on Corton, you're trying to have a space for a family to enjoy that's safe, that it deals with the noise from Corton and likewise is invisible. So I think, given all those constraints, with the drain in the back and the easement to the side, you're self-interested, and you use the word tasteful, but I do think that this was very well done.
Thank you very much.
So,
I'll make a motion.
go ahead, yeah.
So again, I'm not against it. I want us to make sure we continue to make it very green.
No, I respect where you're coming from, totally.
Okay, so in regards to the appeal.
He's a tough grader, so that's important.
That's right.
Again, I want our clients to be able, I want our residents to be able to invest in their properties and be able to love them. I also want to make sure that doesn't have any negative impact on the other person who has their beautiful home and their yard. So that's where I'm coming from. So in regards to the appeal at 3855 Corton Road for the accessory structures, that includes the cabana, the pergola, the pool, the spa, the gas fire pit, and wall. On this, before I make this, where's the wall? So you have a staircase. Where is the staircase going?
The staircase goes down to a basement so we can hide all the equipment underneath the structure, and you don't have to do anything with the equipment.
That's kind of cool. That's really cool. We're going to hide that wall completely?
Yeah, the hedge is on the outside of that wall.
Really cool. So I move that, the request be approved as submitted. Based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance of section 42-76 standards because these accessory structures are appropriate to the neighborhood, as many other homes have, again, spas, pergolas, pools, cabanas, etc. In regards to the dimensional variance, at 3855 Corton Road, for the accessory structures being placed in anything but the rear yard, I move the request be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because you can't put anything in that backyard because of the easement and the drain. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the reason of we are going to be screening it, so I can't see anything from the road or any neighbor's property, including our fence. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated because, again, the shape, and again, that drain and the easements that were here prior to your clients buying it. This is not self-created because of the fact of all those easements were in place prior to your clients buying the property. If this motion is approved, all applications for necessary permits must be made within 1 year for the accessory structure, and all permits must be obtained prior to any construction. Again, additional evergreen screenings will be required, and you will not be able to see this from public view for 12 months out of the year.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. your
Thank you so
request is
much,
granted.
appreciate you guys.
Item 15, 4000 overlay.
Good evening, Honorable Board. My name is Roger Basmajian. A few months ago, my partner and I purchased a home at 4000 Overlay Court, which we intend to turn into our forever home. We fell in love with the views, but the very challenging site. As you drive in, it's a very small drive. You can't turn around. There's a steep drop on the lakeside. There's a septic field. The house is very small, only 2 bedrooms. So we're hoping that you give us the variance we're requesting due to the challenges. Like I said, the drive, you can't go in and actually turn back around and go back out. There's no garage. In fact, you actually have to back up to the neighbor's yard and back into their driveway and turn back around as it is today. But on days like this, when it's snowy, it's actually very dangerous as well. The conditions, it's not been kept up, but we also found out that there were a lot of Howard Turner homes in this neighborhood. And although this house has been desecrated over the years and some of the character taken out, we intend to restore it very thoughtfully. I'm also an architect by schooling, so I have a passion for this. Do a very modest addition and expand the drive and create a better retaining wall system that's there right now. Make it safe and be able to turn around. And I'm sure our architect, Charlie Heed here, is going to explain a little further. Thank you.
No further comments. He explained it all perfectly. Just kidding. So anyway, thank you for talking to us tonight, hearing our variance. The two things we're trying to bring to the attention tonight are the improvement of the plateau, which is not in accordance with the ordinance. So what we're proposing is to expand it so that we can actually drive in and turn a vehicle around. And that, if you go to the site plan, it ends up, that first kind of drawing, the circle or the square at the top, the retaining walls and the topography we have to do wouldn't be able to be accomplished the way the ordinance is written, just because of the fall off and the angle of the property and the site. So we're asking for a variance to the way we would do the retaining walls there and a step topography. I think there's a good image further in the presentation of what that looks like. Yeah, that image right there on the bottom right. So what we're talking about doing is expanding a drive plateau and then putting a varied kind of stepping and landscaped retaining wall system with vegetation that would kind of conceal the gravity block walls for the vehicles, so it looks nice against the lake, and so it looks cohesive with the home. Again, this is a really unique home, I will say, for mid-century modern architecture. The second part of the request is the addition on top of the house, which, because of lakefront setbacks, you measure that across Gilbert Lake within houses within 500 feet of each side of our house, and we end up with a setback that's 159 feet. So this property is uniquely close to the lake already, which makes it a non-conforming structure, but we're asking for a variance from that because we're not planning to change the footprint of the house, we're just adding an addition on top. So we're asking for lenience to that.
Yeah, you're not moving it any closer, you're just going up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the site's kind of proximity to the lake and the fact that it's on a small lot that's kind of on a peak, I'll say. So with that, we're really excited by this home. Roger is, people for the past 50 years have been, painting this beautiful house, built by one of Frank Lloyd Wright's builders and taking it apart. We want to bring all those qualities back to the house. We want to improve the lot. And I believe we have letters from both of his neighbors that are in support of it that we've given to the board already, so.
Yeah, if I may add, the house steps into the terrain quite a bit. So we're really, the addition is very modest and tucked into the land, kind of step back away from the lake. And I've walked, even though I'm new to the neighborhood, I've introduced myself to my neighbors, walked them through the plans, got 2 support letters, as well as some other people that said they don't oppose it, they think it's beautiful, and wished me the best of luck. So hopefully you feel the same.
Openness to the public. Anyone like to comment on this item?
My name is Giovanni Kagos. We live next door at 5525 Shadow Lane. We've lived there for 40-plus years. I feel like going up is going to impede the view of the lake and just the surrounding topography of the lake. I think the way it is, it's already impeding on that 100-foot variance, and it's going to ruin the sight line from my house and the view from my house, and so I am against the variance.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
I'm Robert Roth. I live at 5575 Shadow Lane. Been in this neighborhood for many years, and we know this house. And this is one of the houses that was built before really permits were gone, because it's less than like 40 feet away from the water. And the thing that we're really worried about, he may be doing a lot of things. He wants to go toward the water, so he'll be 40 feet off the water. We have no houses that are within 150 feet. So when he moves in 50 feet to go up the second load, he's out of audience, and he's against the rules of our area. So we're worried about that and worried about you looking at it. He's talking about the lot being small. It's a very small house. I think it was a kind of a beach house way back when in the 40s. And it's really small, and you got to change everything here. So I'm not sure that you can do this variance. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item?
May I add something, please?
Yeah, so hold on just a second. I'll close public hearing and then you can respond.
What I wanted to say is I tried approaching Mr. Kakos several times, actually. This
So
house
you
is.
can just talk to us. You
Yeah,
can-
no, the house is not in front of his house at all. In fact, there's a lot of trees there. It's a very heavily vegetated lot. You can't even see this house. And if you literally look at the height that we're going, we're way beyond, way below the height restrictions. It's, like I said, half the house is tucked into the landscape. And the people that would be immediately affected would be my two neighbors on overlay. One is right above me, and she thinks it's a beautiful addition. And in fact, the addition that we're doing it's tucked back to the west side of the house so that it doesn't impede on anybody's views or anything like that either. So it was very thoughtfully done that we don't disrupt the neighborhood at all and respect the architecture.
I guess I'll just add, we're not moving the house anywhere closer to the lake. The footprint's the same. We're just adding a portion to the top of the house that's furthest back from the lake. So we're already trying to conform to the ordinance as much as possible by pushing the addition all the way to the back where it is the only place we could do it on the property. So.
Yeah, and that's the way our notes read. Okay. Any questions from the board?
Sure, might as well start. So, a couple things. Support letters. Can you tell me what neighbors here provided you with support letters?
14007 and 14014. 14007 is actually the house that's probably the closest to my house.
All right, Corey, can you put your thing over it? Apparently I'm older than I think, because I can't see any address.
Sorry, what's that?
14007, can you point out?
I'm sorry, 4007.
Okay.
Oh, it's not showing up.
Yeah, that'd be great if you just touch it. So you have a support letter from the two closest to your neighbors?
Correct.
That have no objection? And you submitted that already to the board?
Yes, I did.
Perfect. And then the two applicants that came up here are the two, so 25, so he's to your south.
5525 Shadow Lane, I tried calling him, stopped by, never responded to me, and that's the gentleman that I believe that came up.
Yeah, so that was one, and then 7-5, Corey. Yeah. 7-5 is 3 houses down. Okay.
So Chris is not working, so I can't show him.
Okay, perfect.
He's in Florida.
No, so, okay, so the two neighbors, and again, the proposed addition is gonna be closest to the neighbor that's directly to the west.
Directly to the west, 4007, correct.
Okay, so, because I did get calls specifically on this, talking about obstruction of their views. So I wanted to see who that was and understand it, because people did reach out to me concerning this, and I wanted to understand that, to understand why. How far is the retaining wall from the water?
It should be shown on the site plan.
Yeah, this, when you look like, again, I have okay vision, I don't have that good a vision, and when they scan
Do
this.
you have our architectural one you can flip to?
This one.
Yeah.
What is it?
So.
You think about, like, that's what ours looks like, I can't.
You just
Yeah,
zoomed
can
in.
we zoom in on it?
I have your, if you want to look at these.
Because again, that yellow area is where you're improving it, so
Right.
while we said we're not adding to the house, we are adding to the hardscape.
Footprint.
A footprint or a hardscape to it that is gonna be within, not the setback that they're used to. So I just wanna make sure that is on record that we are doing that. It isn't a variance, but we are doing it.
Yes, we have to do a plateau up there, so there'll be a retaining wall. So I drew sections through that to show the heights, right? Those are on the exhibits too. Does that help?
It was, the footprint of the house isn't changing, but the footprint of the driveway is gonna be going
Right.
closer to the water. So, wanna just make sure
Yeah.
we're technically saying the right thing. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yes, we'd be doing that.
Not arguing with it, I'm just.
Right.
So we make it on record, so.
Correct.
Okay. Again, the neighbors that are gonna be mostly impacted are the ones that are in favor of it. The house is already non-conforming.
Right.
So if he put an air conditioning on this house, it'd be non-conforming and have an issue.
Correct.
So, similar to what we do with the village, it's a matter of, does it negatively affect it, or how is the impact? So, and where he's putting that addition, the neighbor to that side has no problem and apparently doesn't obstruct their view. And the neighbor to the south who came here at 5525 still appears to have a pretty good lake view. Right, so it's not like it is completely unobstructed. Those are my thoughts. If he was gonna obstruct any person's view and they came here and protested, then I'm gonna have a problem. But it looks like the neighbor who could be affected is not in problem of it and still has a high enough elevation that this won't affect their view.
I'm just out of curiosity, what is the square foot of the original home? Do
What
you
is the
know?
square footage?
Mhm.
Close to 3,000, I think. But that, half of that's the basement. Most of it is just underground, so.
The house right now is 2,400 square feet,
Okay.
and it's 3,000 if you do count the basement with it. And it's got 2 bedrooms, a very tight home.
So 2,400 square feet first floor, and how much is the square foot of the addition?
Is it on this document?
I think it's on here, isn't it?
I
Or is
think
it?
it's in here.
Oh, no, maybe it's not.
It's not, because it should be like.
I believe it's about 800 square feet, something
Yeah,
of
it's
that
somewhere-
size,
I think
maybe a
it's
little
less than
smaller than
1,000
that,
square
actually.
feet, so. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a trick question, I'm sorry.
It's just a number. I'm okay with it.
Me too. Do you have anybody have any
Yeah.
other questions?
Go
Any
ahead,
other
make a
questions?
Make a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion then. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. Okay. Dimensional variance. In regards to the appeal at, is it 4,000 overly?
Yep.
Of 4,000 overly, for the retaining wall 64 feet in height for the second-story addition encroaching 58 feet in the required 100-foot lakefront setback, and for increasing the nonconformity. I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty. Because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, basically, because without actually this addition and making it safer for driving and space, it would prevent reasonable use of the property. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors. For one, the most impactful neighbors, the adjacent neighbors, are in support of it. I think also that it will make the home actually much more buildable. Unique circumstances of the property, again, because it is also currently non-conforming, and also because of the lake frontage and where the home is positioned on the lot closer to the lake makes it actually more challenging as well. And because of all of that, it is not self-created. So with that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction.
Support. I have motion and support. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
For the retaining wall, are we gonna require screening?
Screening?
He has a screening plan, but it's technically not full screening, he is providing ways. It is really only the water side, but I know other retaining walls of this size we require. So I'm just,
Okay.
it's up to you, it's your motion, I just wanted to discuss it as a board.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it without screening.
I was thinking without it, well, when we looked at those renderings, I wasn't quite sure if the screening needed to occur because it wasn't necessarily visible. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Right.
That's, I just wanted to discuss.
That's what I thought.
So,
Perfect.
and it looked architecturally pleasing to go with the
Right,
structure,
kind
so
of fits the,
it looked like it was meant to be seen.
well, that's why we have discussion of the motion, so.
It's great.
So we're good?
Okay. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item 16, 3063 Franklin.
It's me again, Zach, DHE. We submitted the ZBA last year also on this pool and the retaining wall, but for a reason, I think the spa and the fireballs were not included in the motion or in the letter at the end. So when we went to the building department, we built the spa, but then when we came to the fireballs, it wasn't in the minutes, I guess. So that's why we submitted again for this one.
And these are before you because they're not immediately adjacent to the house on a patio. So they're a little bit different. They're set back separate from the house. They're not on the patio immediately adjacent. That's why it's before you.
Does the height make a difference?
So we also have a hot tub and a gas fire pit?
Yes.
Okay. You want to talk about those a little bit, or the hot tub?
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, we submitted this ZBA last year also, but it wasn't included in the motion at the end or for a reason. So the spa was built already, and the building department approved it, and we built it. But then when we came to the fireballs, they said the spa also was not included in the last year ZBA minutes. So that's why we submitted another ZBA this year, just to go over this and get the approval.
How high is the hot tub?
No, it's flat with the surface, maybe
Flat?
1 foot only.
Okay. All right, I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to speak on this item? And I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to the board. So we have the fire bowls set atop a pier, the hot tub, which is level with the ground, a gas fire pit.
I can make a motion.
Okay.
In regard to the appeal at, where's the address here? At 3063 Franklin Road, for the 4 3x3x4 tall gas fire bowls on a pier, also a 10x14 hot tub and a gas fire pit. I move that the request be approved and submitted based on information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood as it is in the rear of the residence and it doesn't encroach any of the setbacks. If approved, the application must include application for all necessary permits made within 1 year for accessory structures, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. Evergreen planting, how do we screen this?
It was included in the last year, the screening was included in the last year. We're gonna put evergreen all around to screen the area.
So the hot tub and the surround is fully
Yeah.
screened?
Yeah, that was in last year ZBA.
Okay, well, I'd still like to add that the additional screening may be required if there's any openings in the screening that is planned from public view, and plantings must meet or exceed the height of the accessory structures at time of installation for 12 months out of the year. Support?
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request
Thank
is
you.
granted.
Thank you.
Item 17, 2165 Telegraph.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Dieters. I'm with Metro Signs and Lighting, 11444 Colts Avenue in Warren. Here before you this evening for a monument sign for the new DFCU location. As we had mentioned and gone to this for the DRB before, I think you may know this is on the accessory road going back in towards the shopping center. There's just an awful lot going on there. And it's going to be a little bit difficult for clients for DFCU to discern how to enter into the building. There's no entrance off of Telegraph. People are going pretty fast. You get in. It would be really nice, and I think add to the safety for the site, to have this sign there. I think it's appropriately sized. And having a sign there prevents their customers from passing that. And if they get past that entranceway, they have to go into the parking lot and turn around to get back there. I just think that this makes a lot of sense from a practical standpoint, a safety standpoint, and it'll just make it a lot easier for their customers to navigate through there.
Any questions from the board? Open this to the public. Is that a fake out there?
It's too late for that.
I admire your humor this late in the evening. So we'll close the public hearing and bring it back for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. in regards to the appeal at 2165 Telegraph Road for the dimensional variance for having one accessory sign and logo exceeding 5% of the total area of the sign. I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all stands for practical difficulty because compliance with strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because of the unique fact that there's no curb cut off of Telegraph for this. You're going in off of that side lot, and then there's not a secondary one if they miss the entrance. Again, there's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of, again, it's all commercial in that area. Is this sign lit
Yes, it is, internally.
internally, and it'll be lit all the time?
No, only during their hours of operation in the evening. So, well, in the winter, it'll stay till, how late would you like it?
So we typically close at 5.
So it'll be shut off, not with the automatic lights that are illuminating your parking lot?
Right, so typically, it's usually a 4 lot.
Yeah.
But we could
It's usually, as long as they're practical for when there's some activity at their drive-through for the ATMs and things, but that's at your discretion. You know.
Yeah, I know, I don't even know my motion now. Do we have a normal on this, Andrea?
I'm not aware of any lights within this area near that shopping center that have time provisions on it.
Okay, that's fine. So again, there's no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the reason of, again, this is a commercial area. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated because of the fact that, again, there's no curb cut off of Telegraph Road, and this is gonna be part of that, access into that shopping center. This is not self-created due to the fact that, again, you guys were not giving the curb cut. This is just for this new structure. If approved, all necessary permits must be, obtained prior to construction, and, all necessary permits must be made within 1 year.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
Calling item 1840 East Square Lake.
I know he's here. Andy is here. He's probably in the hallway.
You waited this long.
Hello, my name's Robert O'Quinn. I work with Allied Signs. I started doing this back in '91 for that man's company right there. This year I'll be 54. I've, like I said, been installing signs out in the field for many years.
No,
It's
no,
a
you're
whole-
55 after this meeting.
It's a whole lot easier than welding high-rises on the freeway, let me tell you.
I'm sorry, what item are you here for, Square Lake?
Yes, I am. I'm here for the Clean Express Auto Car Wash.
So we skipped over Andy who just walked in, but.
We did?
No,
No.
that was 17, this is 18. Can we just approve 17?
Never mind, I'm gonna be quiet.
Go ahead, sir.
So we have a few items here. The sign, they want 2 proposed signs on here, and the one free vacuums is more of an informational sign, is how I see that. It's what we would call a flat cut sign, kind of like the badge here on your desk. But it's really more like the nameplates above where it's information, where they're not using it as a trademark, if you will.
Got it?
You
Okay.
know. And if the neighbor had a complaint, if you would, at a party store, cold beer, well, he's not putting free beer out there. Free beer is information. Everybody knows a party store has cold beer. And as far as the height on the Clean Express Auto Wash, it has to be below the roof line. Isn't the roof line the top of the parapet wall? I mean, that sign would be really low.
I'm not gonna argue against ordinance and planning on this, man.
You know? And then the other thing was the little logo that's next to the C in Clean Wash. It's proportioned to the rest of the signs. It's a neat little package. The 2 signs combined don't total the allowable square footage.
Got it. Any questions? I'd like to open this to the public. Anyone? All right, so you've been so patient.
I'm Greg Adams, 61 Douglas Drive, and I'm here with my wife Patty Hine. We are the residents most heavily affected by what happens on the west side of that brick wall. I've been here many times over the years when they put in a drainage basin on the other side, then they built a Tim Hortons and tore that down. And we've been putting up with some pretty extensive earthwork for the last 5 months. But the signage caught my attention. We did not get any information notifying us that there was going to be a car wash going in there. Otherwise, I would have been here to talk about a sound issue, which we had difficulty with before. But since this all went down before we got any notification that a car wash was even going to go in there, I am concerned about, light pollution, being able to see a sign that's going to be at 22.5 feet, from where that building is, and the wall is only 6 feet high. I don't want to stare at a sign day and night. But a question to the township: what are the hours of operation for the car wash going to be? When will these lights be on?
I don't have the hours of operation. That was part of the package that would have been submitted to the township board. We did have conversation with Colberry Estates, and I could verify that I'm sorry if you didn't receive the notice, but we do notice everybody within 500 feet.
And I'm 50 feet. That the forklift truck working on the site is 50 feet from where I sit in my couch.
I guess I don't know the answer. I know it's not a 24-hour operation. I don't have it off the top of my head, the hours of operation for the car wash.
All right.
We can certainly get that information and follow up. If you'd like to leave your phone number with Corey, we can certainly follow up with the hours of operation for you.
Okay.
We don't live in Colberry Estates, we live in
Colberry Hills.
There's
I
a
miss-
distinct
okay.
difference, okay?
Okay.
Understood.
They're two separate subdivisions, I want to clarify that for the record. Colberry Hills. is
I probably
where-
misspoke.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, and we did not receive notification, as we did not receive notification on other matters, but we won't go
Right.
into that.
So I was kind of surprised that we did get a letter about the signage, but we didn't get a letter about what was going to go in there.
We can certainly check our records. We keep a record of when notices went out for site plans, so we can certainly take a look and do some
Well,
follow-up.
we would know if we got it, because
Right.
it would be on our refrigerator.
Yeah, and none of our
We haven't
adjacent
gotten it.
neighbors.
Understood.
And the township has
Got it
told
either.
us before that we've gotten communication when we did not. We have lived in that home 42 years, and we have improved the property beautifully, outside and inside. And we are probably the oldest residents in our subdivision. And we're very disappointed to hear about this, for a notice to come to a hearing. And we have been here all evening waiting to speak on this matter. And no one has spoken to us about the car wash. No one has come. People are out there at 6:30 a.m. in the morning with heavy-duty equipment. I get up at 7 and the equipment is already running.
So these are items that our department, planning, building, and ordinance, would be more than happy to sit down. This is the first we've heard from
We
you.
need to check into it. We don't know that anybody has checked into any of this. And our house just quakes. They're operating multiple heavy equipment machinery.
I think part of the reason we're a little upset, when the Tim Hortons went in and they put in the drainage basin over there, they brought in a vibratory compactor. They were 2.5 months behind schedule. So they brought in a vibratory compactor that's only used on interstates to try to pack the backfill in over the drainage basin. It shattered every brick and piece of mortar on our house. We filed a lawsuit. We tried to go recover the costs, not knowing that a private citizen cannot sue a Michigan business and go to trial. It has to go into arbitration. So when we went into arbitration, the 3 attorneys sat there and said, well, you've made a good point, you've made a good point, we're going to split it down the middle, you both have fault. We got enough out of it only to cover our legal fees. 3 years ago, the house was deteriorating because of all the cracks. The moisture was getting in over the winter, kept pushing the bricks apart farther and farther. 3 years ago, I had to use 7 cans of spray foam to fill all the cracks that were getting wider and wider. We had mice, chipmunks, voles, all kinds of insects all through our house. So we finally bit the bullet, spent $82,000 to re-brick the entire house. But when we redid it, we put up structural plywood, glued and screwed it into place, taped all the edges, house wrap. We did a LEED quality construction project on the house. It is now surviving the pounding that it's taking from the current construction.
So you have an
So-
important story to tell, and you stayed a very long
We don't
time.
want to divert on that. We want to talk about the signs.
Yeah, because
okay?
we're the zoning board, all we're considering is the sign.
The
signs
signs,
variance.
I understand.
And we're just.
But I empathize to your frustration, and you sat here a long time, and you have things that you want to share with the township, so you need to do that with the building department. There's a trustee here,
But
but,
we want to talk about the.
yeah, all we are voting on tonight is the sign.
Right, and we want to talk about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you mind sitting at the,
We'll invite you to our backyard.
do you mind talking at the podium so now
Yes.
I can hear
We'll
you?
invite you to our backyard, okay? And you come stand there, and please come while this construction is happening. And we'll also invite you to come and look at the signs, okay? Because those signs, that's what we're gonna see in our backyard. We have a beautifully landscaped backyard that we have spent 42 years creating. We are gardeners, we are horticulturists, we have trees. We take pride in our yard. Everybody in our neighborhood enjoys our yard. We don't want to wake up. Right now, I'm waking up in the morning, and when I'm having my cup of coffee, I'm seeing a crane setting out there. And the bucket of the
We're
crane.
talking about the sign. not
And
the-
I'm talking about that because the signs are gonna be as intrusive as that crane. We're gonna see them from our back patio where we entertain, from our family room. There's no reason for these signs to have a variance. To be taller, bigger, wider, it's a car wash.
If they comply with the township codes that currently exist.
We'll be happy.
we got no problem.
So again, the sign is gonna be facing Square Lake. Your property will not be able to see the sign.
Yeah, but we didn't know what it was gonna look like.
No,
until we saw the
so,
drawing.
if we can go back to show where the sign, ornates, I think it's another one, right there, so if you can see C and D are facing Square Lake. So I know where your home is, but you can't see it.
Yeah, what my question was, we've got a 22-foot 4-inch height here. This is the main building. This part sticks up. Is that opaque in the back so that there's no light going backward?
Oh, absolutely.
No light going backward.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's on the
So these
face.
are the only two signs, correct?
Correct, that are facing
The road.
the
They're
road,
facing the
not
road.
your property.
All right.
So again, that's where helping communication
Okay.
can help with that.
But even if they're lit, we have to, if we're in the backyard, if we're enjoying
You
an
won't see
evening
it because the
outside.
light will be facing north.
It'll be facing.
Okay,
So,
okay,
It
that's,
won't be shining down.
that's achievable.
I feel better.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause I can
Your
understand.
sign's not gonna make any difference to your property or your
Good.
backyard.
good,
Perfect.
Now, the noise, we'll be back.
yeah,
Well, we're just deciding on the signs. Yeah.
right.
You know, and if there's, where are the vacuums going? Well, you know.
They're all inside. Everything's inside.
Pardon?
They're inside.
Really? So no outdoor vacuums?
And I would think, could they get more information?
Corey got their phone number, we'll
Yeah.
probably reach out to them
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'd appreciate it.
And again, I'm sorry you had to get all this information in a zoning board meeting. I gave you more time than,
Well, we would like to be informed about what is happening next to us. We feel we're not informed. We also know there's a resolution for Western. Has that, some notification gone out on that?
These are great questions I have not at this point,
I know.
but
You know
to
what,
talk to
honestly,
planning.
I I'm more than happy, my name's Andrea and my team, we're more than happy to sit with
I'm
you.
just saying,
Come,
I have
let's have those
called.
discussions
When
not
I-
at 10 o'clock at night.
Andrea,
More than
I
happy.
haven't spoken with you, but I just want to make this clear, this is off topic, I know it is.
Well,
You don't, when I call, and when my husband calls, we don't get answers. We just get, someone will call
Okay,
you, and no one ever does.
All set. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate your time. Thank you guys for waiting so long.
That's pretty important. We elected you, so, pretty important.
So, mind if I just speak to this real quick, Brian?
Sure.
So, the board, ma'am, so the Board of Zoning Board of Appeals here are appointed bodies by your elected officials. The members, the men and women that are on this board are appointed by the Board of Trustees. They are members of the community, so they are not elected. If you were mad at your elected, you're mad at me and my colleagues on the Board of Trustees. So those are the people you can talk to about the site plan. That was where I would tell you to voice your concerns as well as the planning. The members here are appointed and are great. So they're not elected. I'm the one you're mad at if you're mad at elected, okay? That's my name. No worries.
We do it for the thrill and excitement of the news. So,
Well, we've lived in this township for
Thank you.
2 years, and we don't really know.
well, and again, on behalf of everybody, I'm very sorry that you had to come to this forum to share all those things. We hope that you got, better information now and where to get more. And at least we were able to explain to you what the signs are, where they're located and where they're facing. So just one last thing to worry about.
And thank you for your patience.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and bring it back for discussion or a motion.
I would like to make a motion. In regards to the appeal, actually, before we get started, does anybody have any problems with the height of it being in the parapet versus the main structure?
No.
No.
So, in regards to the appeal at 40 East Square Lake Road for the variance of the sign exceeding total area, I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with this trailer ordinance would be unduly burdensome because they're trying to show the free vacuums where that is, as well as where the main sign is for it. All of that is going to be facing Square Lake Road and not facing any adjacent residential to the west or south. There is no justice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of, again, this illuminated sign will not be providing any light pollution from the sign to the east neighbors or the southern neighbors. Unique circumstances of this property have been demonstrated given the fact that, again, this is along Square Lake Road with heavy traffic and a lot of traffic. So based on that, you would understand why you'd have a sign of that size and where it is. And this is not self-created because, again, Square Lake Road is 8 lanes in that area. So again, heavily traveled. We need a sign so people can see it, so they're not quickly pulling off or causing any disturbances to the roadway. If this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation.
Support. I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, request is granted.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll see you again. Not on the side of the freeway, well, my high-rise.
Okay. Calling the next item, item 19, 42931 Woodward.
Number 19?
No.
42931?
19, 42931 Woodward.
I'm a resident, so. As am I.
Oh.
So let me come and say my piece. Thanks for waiting.
Thanks for you.
Well, do you want to, how about we open it up for public comment?
Wait, oh, there's,
Unfortunately, you can't see.
The applicant's not here. All right, well then we'll open the public hearing. What the heck? You guys
There's-
waited long enough. You got it.
Thank you. My name is Donald Bradley. I live at 2623 Colonial Way.
We're Peggy and Tom.
Oh, my God.
Sorry,
Oh, my
we've
God.
never met.
We've never, listen.
Homecoming.
Listen.
Sorry,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you. Good to see you. You got my message?
I did.
God bless
I
you.
did, and I
God
wrote
bless
it.
you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead with
So,
your story.
So I live at 2623 Colonial Way in the Colonial State subdivision. The mall, which is that area where they're going to place this market, Western Market, and again, notification. I never got notified. I'm a busy physician. I saw this notice. My wife said, "Did you see what they're gonna do here?" I said, "What do you mean?" Our home sits right behind this area where they want to place this docking area. It sits right behind the store. I've been living there since 1986. I've been there 40 years, so we got a little seniority there. I've seen Perry's, Rite Aid, Chicken Shack, Jimmy John's, you name it, evolution-wise in terms of this location. The biggest thing for us is it's an eyesore. I look right out my kitchen window to the area where they want to place this dock. There's garbage bins there. We complained to the township historically, and they made the other restaurants put tops on the garbage bins. There's a 6 feet wall there, but the trash is higher than the walls. The biggest problem with odor is the summertime, with decaying garbage and, oil from the frying of chicken and what have you. It's a real awful place. Now you want to place a supermarket there, and we can't imagine how it's going to be with vegetables and trucks coming in, dumpsters coming in. So I'm opposed to this whole project completely. And I think it's a sad thing. These are some of my colleagues. We have a block club there. I had never met any of them because I'm so busy. But when I saw this, I had to come forth and talk about this. So that's my issue. I don't think this should go forward with this. This is a bad situation. I wish I had known about the market. I would have been at the zoning office regarding that. So, but as far as them cutting this down so trucks can get in and get out, it's a high-traffic area. People do come there and dump trash in the dumpsters because the dumpsters are always open. So we got a real issue there. Thank you.
So, we're the zoning board.
Yes.
We're here to consider a sign variance and then a variance from the size of the loading dock, so it's actually gonna be smaller than we typically decide. So no one's here to present on it, but so it's sort of similar to the comments made earlier, is I think upset about the use, and we're not deciding the use. We're just deciding whether a secondary sign goes in or whether a loading dock that's smaller than what we normally require can go in. So those are the only two things we have the authority to decide.
And we certainly can get you in touch with the local developer who has one in Ferndale. I know that he'd be more than happy to talk with you prior to this going to the township board. So again, if you'd like to give us your information,
Yes.
we'd be more than happy to put you in touch and you can become more familiar with their operations.
Thank you.
Because we're not deciding the use, that's not within the scope of our authority.
Yeah, we're deciding on if the sign is a problem, so let's speak of the sign and the loading dock. Those are where I hope your words are regarding.
I'm Tom Westman. I'm the president of Colonial Estates Property Owners Association. My wife Peggy is the treasurer. I'm the recently elected, after Joe Gruber, after 14 years or whatever. Anyway, Mr. Bradley contacted us the other night, and via an email regarding what's going on with this loading dock. Nobody knows. None of us have seen any of the plans. It's a cluster behind there already. And from his house, I drove by through the alley today, and from his house, all you see is dumpsters, because the dumpsters are 7 feet tall, the wall is 6 feet tall. His house is probably 15-foot elevated. We just want to have an opportunity to talk with, and we thought we would have that opportunity tonight, to talk with whoever's building this loading dock, and what are they going to do to get rid of the trash crusher, the dumpsters, the lighting that should be shielded downward there's no shielding at all on those lights, and those wall packs burn all night.
So this is not the board for that.
I understand that. Well, we just found that out
Well,
after
you were just
waiting
trying
all
to get
night.
information, and the applicant's not here to answer any of those, so.
Right.
we're-
Thank you.
we're-
We were kind of hoping he was, and he was
We hit the
thinking I
jackpot
was.
tonight with really so many
Who should we, how do we get in touch with, or how do we find out what exactly is the plan?
We absolutely have, we always encourage developers to reach out to the neighbors. We certainly have no issues
Okay.
setting up a meeting, and we can certainly share it with you in our department. We got your phone numbers and addresses. I'll reach out to you as early as tomorrow, and we will sit down and have a discussion. I do want to note that their plan for garbage is interior to their building.
Perfect.
Okay, so, and I also want to, I just want to note that they are a local business in Ferndale, and they are very, no, I'm just saying, they'll be very interested, and I'm sure, hearing your comments, and we'll be more than happy to sit down and go further and have
It's a
further
welcome
discussion.
addition to the neighborhood. Thank you.
I have one comment, Mr. Henry.
Sure.
So Andrea, for these resident, they're gonna pay it.
Thanks so much.
When we have a change of use and an occupancy, does it go to the Board of Trustees?
It will be going to the Board of Trustees. It's already been in the Planning Commission. It will come to the Board of Trustees, I believe February.
Excuse me, miss, sir, we're talking about stuff you may want to listen to. Okay, so I asked Andrea, Director of Planning and Building, if when we do a site plan or change of use of this business, where does it go to get approval? Where they talk about the lighting, the location of these accessory, where does it all go? It goes to the Board of Trustees.
And it did already go to the Planning Commission, so I'm taken a little off guard on a couple things tonight regarding people not being informed, but it will be, there will still be a township board hearing. And the intention obviously is that we would engage with those neighbors prior to going to the township board, so any of your concerns are addressed.
So then that'll be at the formal board. They will not be able to get approval until the Board of Trustees, not this board, your elected board that has a meeting the second and fourth Monday. And then at that meeting, you can voice your concerns, talk with the developer, and maybe any changes to the site plan based on some of these concerns can be made. But again, if you have questions, you work with the planning department as well as the developer to help engage prior to that. That way, they're on the same page, and it's a lot easier for them to get approval when they have neighbors that are excited and engaged. Okay? So you're not far behind. There are still ways for your voice to be heard. Perfect.
Just one comment I'd like to add to that. We had this lighting issue with the important put in the parking lot lights, and they just blasted right into our house.
We have it with the German college.
Okay,
And
well,
we
have
gotta
to
still rule on this, so
We're
if you
running
guys
a
can
meeting
talk.
here, so it's.
Thank you, guys.
I've lost all control of the meeting, so you can help me if you could go out. You can talk about lighting out in the hall.
All right, so, Mr. Chairman, based on the fact that the applicant is not here, I would like to table this for another meeting. We're either gonna do that, or we're gonna, I don't wanna, if we.
I think we
did-
have to.
Well, because if we deny it with without cause, they have to then renotice.
Why did
and
they
then
show
repay the
up? What's the
fees.
matter?
So I
on.
don't necessarily want the applicant to have to pay additional fees and renotice based, well, they will renotice when it comes to the tabling. So are there additional fees for them if we do that? The township eats that fee? I don't love that either.
Well, I guess I'm unsure what the question is. They've made application, they paid a fee, they're not here. We wouldn't necessarily charge them again if it was tabled. Are you talking about denying it?
Well, if I deny it because I don't, why should the township pay for the noticing when the applicant didn't necessarily take the time for it?
But we don't have
They're
anything
not
to
here,
deny.
they didn't come.
I guess I can't speak to why they're not,
I think it has
I
to be
can't speak to why
postponed,
they're not here.
doesn't it? I mean, we would have the reason for denial. Is it?
Denial without, I don't know, without cause, without prejudice.
I have no problem denying it since they didn't bother to show up. I mean, really. Geez, if it's that important,
If they
why
have to
didn't they show?
resubmit and reduce, that's on them, they didn't show up.
But
Yeah,
I think.
I'm leaving it up to you. I don't love the fact that us as taxpayers are going to have to pay for noticing because they didn't take the time to do it. That's the only reason for a denial versus a
encourage
resident.
But are we gonna deny the other two that didn't
Yeah,
show?
that's
I
part
think
of
it
it
just
too.
should be tabled.
I just table it.
I would table
I
it.
think we're a little tired and cranky.
Sorry.
I think we need
That too.
snacks.
Okay.
I don't know how
think
much
it goes
extra
past
cost
10 o'clock.
is
So,
for, I think we
Miss-
just table it.
Mister, I would like to make,
Present.
I would like to make a motion that we are gonna be tabling, number 19,
And then there were two
for a
others.
future meeting.
Can we put them all together? Because there's no one here for the other two that we,
I need a motion and support.
I'll support.
All right, so we have a motion to table item 19-42931 Woodward in support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion tabled. So why don't we call item 20, 1050 East Square Lake Road, and then we can do the same with the others. So, you really are in a tough spot, so go right ahead.
Well, we started this project 13 years ago, in 2013. And Andrea probably remembers
Oh, since when I started here, it's my anniversary.
that the first meeting we had in this room, the room was totally filled. TV cameras were here. So it's fitting that the last of maybe 10, 12 meetings we've had on this project is to an empty audience. So, sorry, a little punch drunk. Ran out of things to read. Andrew Mosey, Gordon Associates, 4351 Delamere Court, Royal Oak, Michigan. Here requesting a variance to allow us, to place a generator at 20 feet rather than the required 5 feet from the building. The 5 feet would be sort of too close for this kind of generator and would disrupt the sidewalks. We're placing it in a existing landscape area. We've modified the landscape plan to provide screening on all three sides. The pictures I submitted show pictures from the site of the generator looking around. You can't see anybody else, Nobody can see us.
So the generator will be 20 feet south of the meeting room building, behind the building?
Sort of
So-
southwest.
Southwest, okay, all right. And so you can't see it from the street?
Oh, no. You can't see, you can barely see the building from the street.
Yeah, precisely, yeah, okay. I'm a neighbor, so I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, I got a generator myself.
All right. Let's open this to the public. Close the public hearing.
I've lived in my house for 40 years. And I have, but that's besides the point.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Sure.
So in regards to the dimensional variance regarding the generator not being directly adjacent to the building and being 20 feet away, I move that the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the character of the ordinance will be unduly burdensome because of where some of these other improvements are, parking, sidewalk. You would not be able to adequately screen it, which would then make it unable for you to do that. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the fact that we're gonna be screening it from three sides so nobody can see it, and we've modified our landscape plan so that any evergreen were to be at the height of the product at installation. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated because of the fact of, again, some of our hardscapes and where we're putting it is so that we can screen it. And then this is not self-created because of the fact of, again, those hardscapes for the existing buildings. If this is approved, all necessary permits must be made within 1 year and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen screenings will be required so that it is screened 365 and all of those evergreen screenings will be at or exceed the height of the units at time of installation.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Your request is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right, so we have item 7, which is a sports court. So we'd have to postpone that 3894 Peabody.
Okay. Motion to postpone that?
Support.
Motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item's postponed. Now, the next one, the Barron Drive is a generator adjacent to building. Do we want to try and present that so we don't have another? Can we do that
So
one?
it is adjacent, and they're asking for permission because
Not
it's a
immediately adjacent to the
generator.
house.
Not immediately adjacent.
Oh, not immediately adjacent.
And according to the documents, not immediately adjacent because of windows and makeup air for their generators, I mean, for their furnace and some of those things. So that is their hardship according to the documents provided.
And they're still providing a 45, 60 foot, they're in a 100-foot setback to that from adjacent neighbors. So they're pretty large setbacks.
And we got screening?
They will be required to screen.
We didn't have any objections, right?
what number was it?
Oh, we did open to the public forum, that one.
Number 10.
I can open to.
Number
to it
10?
now, Yeah, Yeah, this is Barron Drive.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Well, let me just for the heck of it, public hearing open? Public hearing closed, okay.
So for the dimensional variance at 3278 Barron Drive, I move that we approve the variance as requested regarding the fact the generator is going to be 10 feet from the property. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with particular level of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because of how the walkout is, additional makeup air for his furnace, and windows would make it unsafe in any other location. There's no justice to the adjoining neighbors by the reason of we will enforce the fact that he is going to have to screen it at or to the height or exceed the height at plantings, to the height of the unit, 365, so nobody can see it. Unique circumstances have probably been demonstrated because of the fact of where the windows are, the walkout basement. This is not self-created because of how the house was designed. If this is approved, all necessary permits must be made prior to installation and all must be made within 1 year. And additional evergreen screenings shall be required as part of his application.
Support.
So motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Request is granted. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
No, we have election of
Oh,
officers
that's
this
right.
January.
Yeah, let's keep the
So,
fun going.
we have to, so it could be a single motion, or I guess the board will have to do, there's two positions for officers, vice chair currently being served by Jocelyn, and chair Brian Henry, so.
Do you guys still would like to do that? Is that something that you guys would like to see?
After tonight, why, who would not want to keep doing that?
Yahoo!
Sure, yeah, I'll do it.
I don't mind. You guys would have me.
I would like to make a motion that we have our chair be Brian Henry and then our vice chair be Jocelyn.
Support. Motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye, absolutely.
All right,
Thank
so
you for
now,
your
can we have a
continued
motion
support.
It was a
to adjourn?
10-year term, right?
I didn't read the fine print, right?
Support.
If I live that long.
You will.
So all those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. So